sum up the atmosphere around Shrewsbury, the football club and the town?
To Liverpool, and they're travelling here tonight with real anticipation, a terrific sense of excitement, and it's a wonderful occasion for the football club.
How has it changed for Shrewsbury, the sort of team that Liverpool are putting out tonight? Is there a regret that they're not playing against Liverpool's A-stars, if you like, or is there perhaps a bit of excitement that this may give them some advantage?
A bit of both, potentially. I think above all, Shewsbury cannot do anything about whatever team Liverpool put out tonight. They just got to worry and look after their own business first and foremost. Everybody coming here tonight knows that whoever has those famous red shirts on tonight are going to be supremely gifted players, young players who they wouldn't be at Liverpool Football Club if they weren't. Of course, Shewsbury fans have already seen glimpses of some of them, Elliott and Jones and Williams, who all played well in that first game at Montgomery Waters Meadow. So it's an intriguing tie. It's a fascinating tie because the dynamic has changed, undeniably. The fact that it isn't a Liverpool first team that Shrewsbury Town will play here tonight. Shrewsbury supporters will hope that the know-how, the experience, the physicality maybe of some of the Shrewsbury Town players could prove to be key. And the fact that since that 2-2 draw, that the draw for round 5 has been made and Chelsea away is a prize at stake just adds to that whole sense of excitement, anticipation once again, because the thought of coming to Anfield and if they get the result they want so badly to Stamford Bridge within a month of each other, but it really is dream stuff, isn't it, for Shrewsbury Town, who find themselves 16th in League One, 13 points outside the top 6. They've had a couple of disappointing results on the road since playing Liverpool in the first game, losing at Gillingham, losing at Rochdale to a late goal on Saturday, but they'll be raring to go for this one tonight because it's such a big occasion for the players, for the club and for the supporters as well.
And how do you think Shrewsbury are going to deal with all of that you've just spoken about mentally? Because it doesn't matter whether you're a Shrewsbury player or a Manchester United player, playing at Anfield can get the better of you.
This is a key question, isn't it, how they do cope with it. Playing in front of 50,000 plus here tonight. They were less than 3,000 in the ground at Rochdale, so talk about a contrast. But Shrewsbury, albeit the squad is ever changing, as is the way of the world at lower league clubs, the squad seems to change quite a bit every summer. But in recent years, many of the players here tonight, they've been involved in front of a sellout crowd at Molyneux. Last season in a fourth round replay, they led 2-1 that night and were unlucky to lose 3-2 at Wolves. Season before, they went to West Ham and played in front of 40,000, took the game to extra time and were beaten 1-0. So the club have experience of coming to big grounds and playing against big clubs. So I would have, so the travelling fans will hope that the players can take it in their stride, but it is a big occasion and we wait to see how they will respond. But there's so much excitement. Someone like Sean Worley, Liverpudlian, boyhood Liverpool supporter at the age of 32, to have the chance to play at Anfield for the first time, it's a great story, isn't it? Dave Edwards, the experienced player, turned 34 yesterday. He captained Wolves to a fourth round victory here at Anfield a few years ago, so he's got some experience of what it takes, and I'm sure he'll be having a word as well with some of the younger players, as of course will the manager Sam Ricketts, who played here in his own playing days in the Premier League for Hull City and for Bolton Wanderers, and I'm sure he'll be trying to pass on some words of advice as well, how to deal with this occasion. But it's such a such a big night for the club, and they've got everything to gain.
I can see the excitement written across your face. Stuart, thanks for talking to us and enjoy tonight.
Thank you very much, James.
Thanks to Stuart and to James there, the lowdown on Shrewsbury. Let's go back to Anfield now. Our match summariser Craig Hignett has battled through the traffic to get there. We've got a delayed kickoff for that reason. It's not because Craig's late, but because a lot of people are late at Anfield. Good evening, Craig.
Evening, E.
Now, what are you expecting tonight? First of all, Josh Laurent in the Shrewsbury ranks. You know him quite well, don't you?
I do know him. My first spell as manager at Hartlepool, he was a young lad coming through. Got him from Brentford. Had all the attributes to be a really good player. Didn't quite happen for him, and then he went away one summer, came back the pre-season after, and he was a different player. Big, powerful, great engine on him, good feet, and he's 6'2", 6'3". He had everything. So I think we sold him to Wigan. And then from Wigan he's ended up at Shrewsbury, where he had a loan spell and then he's come back on a permanent. But it's really difficult going from under 23s to men's football, and the Shrewsbury team are men, every one of them, so they know what's required. They've got an understanding of what it takes, whereas these lads are all the Liverpool lads will be technically very, very good. The physicality bit is the bit that'll probably catch them out, but you can be clever and you can manoeuvre your way through a game. I'm sure Neil Critchley will be telling his players what to expect. They will have to stand up for themselves, that's for sure. But technically, I don't think there'll be anything in it. If anything, I'd expect the Liverpool lads to be technically better than the Shrewsbury lads. I think on paper it's probably an even game.
We shall see. Craig, more from Craig very shortly with James Mountford. For Shrewsbury midfielder Sean Worley, tonight's game at Anfield is going to be a bit special. 32-year-old, born in Prescott, lifelong Liverpool fan, some wonderful memories following the Reds as a supporter. He's been talking to BBC Radio Shropshire's Claire Ashford and James Bond about his love of Liverpool Football Club and how it all started.
It must have been real early, because my granddad was a massive Liverpool fan, and all my mum's side big Liverpool fans, but then all my mates obviously at school and they were all unbelievably big Liverpool fans, so I used to go to the game with them and stuff like that. So obviously I went to Istanbul as well with them.
To the Champions League final, yeah?
Yeah, we actually we had a week in Marmaris. I got the mumps on like the second day, but I still managed to get on the coach, which was like a 12-hour journey to Istanbul.
That's true, isn't it? Tap your heart there. You
well,
can't
yeah,
miss
I thought I can't go all the way to Turkey and stay in the hotel here with feeling sorry for myself, so I managed to drag myself onto the bus, and well, I didn't think it was gonna go how it did, but especially at our time. But what an unbelievable thing to say, that I was there when they done that. But like someone just said, then I haven't seen him lift the Premier League title yet, and hopefully it'll be this season.
Well, I think they're pretty nailed on, to be honest, but they're not going to win the FA Cup, are they?
No, hopefully we can knock them out. Yeah, I definitely want to win. Obviously, I was speaking about my best mate, and it was weird. I went round to see him on the Thursday night to give him the ticket, and he was being weird with me. I don't think he could get to grips with me playing against his best mate, playing against his favourite team, who he absolutely loves. So, and
is he 1% for Shrewsbury and 99% for Liverpool?
I don't even think 1%, to be honest with you. I honestly don't think 1%. I think 0.0001. I think.
And for you, Sean, you've been there as a tot. It's your big team. You've been to Istanbul to actually play at Anfield. You're pinching yourself.
Yeah, definitely. Yeah, it'll be an unbelievable occasion. I'll try and take it all in, but it'll only be really good if we get the result that we want, which is obviously Shrewsbury winning. Even at 32, it's something to really look forward to, and I can't wait now.
So there's a bit of you inside, Sean, that's still that little Sean, a little kid inside.
Yeah, oh, definitely, yeah. I think the lads will say there's a lot of that little Sean inside, yeah. It'll be a proud moment. All my family will be there, and all my friends will be there, and it's just a special occasion.
And a winning goal from you?
Yeah, definitely, yeah. Winning hat-trick from me.
Well, he's not asking for much, is he? Sean Worley there. Let's get back to Craig Hignett and James Mountford. And those Liverpool players will love to hear their names being read out across Anfield now.
Yeah, absolutely. It's a real highlight, isn't it? As Peter McDowell reads out the team sheet, you can imagine that there's plenty of family here tonight, and most of these guys are still teenagers. You know, you look at the likes of Jake Kane tonight, making his debut. He's 18 years of age, only actually signed his first professional contract back in September, and now he's starting at Anfield. So regardless of how they do tonight, and I'm sure everyone of them will want to win, they will remember this for the rest of their lives. Craig Hignett, just talking a few minutes ago when they got the news that kickoff was delayed, and obviously both teams at that point were in the middle of their warm-ups. How does that affect them? What will be going through the coaches' minds in terms of making sure that nobody pulls a hamstring, but equally not wanting them to peak too early?
Yeah, I mean, we've seen the keeper come back out, didn't we? And he didn't go back in until quarter-2. So I think it's just, you've done your warm-up now. You'll be in there. You've got 15 minutes, which isn't a massive amount of time, if I'm honest, James. They'll probably be in there stretching now, making sure that they stay warm, and making sure, like you say, they don't pull a muscle in that first sprint or whatever they do with the ball. They'll have that covered. There's plenty of times where that happens to you and something gets delayed. So that won't be a problem, I don't think. How they start the game is massively important, especially for these youngsters tonight. They have to start quick, they have to get a bit of confidence in the game, and then kick on from that, because confidence is massive, particularly younger players.
We say it every time when Liverpool play, but I think it goes for both teams on this occasion, that the first goal is really vital, isn't it? Because both of them are sort of on a very sort of similar story, albeit youth and experience. So commentary on the way in here from 8 o'clock, 15 minutes later than advertised, because of course we've had that delayed kickoff.
Thanks, James. We'll hear from Neil Critchley in just a second, but they're underway, have been for 6 or 7 minutes, I think, at Prenton Park. Any sign of a goal, Derek Jones?
Well, 8 minutes gone in, no goals yet, but Tranmere have made a pretty bright start in this one. Kane Wilson driving forward as a wing back down the right-hand side, got himself into a couple of good positions, won a free kick, but the delivery was a little bit disappointing, and Doncaster clearing the danger. And then a long ball forward towards Andy Cook. Of course, that's a different option that Tranmere have now, as we've seen so often over the years. The little flick header on, Morgan Ferrier was behind him, got his shot away, took a deflection away from the corner, which Doncaster have dealt with. Not seen too much from the visitors as yet, but Tranmere with a brightish start in this one. 8.5 minutes gone, still Tranmere 0, Doncaster 0.
And the final word before kick-off at Anfield from Neil Critchley. He says the performances of the first team so far this season are an inspiration to his young players.
I think the strength of the first team, what you see all the time is, and I don't think it gets spoken about enough, is sometimes it's hard to put your finger on it, it's hard to describe, but when you're around it, you see the culture that they create, and that's through the people that they are. And for our players to be in and around that on a regular basis, it can't help but rub off on them. And I think that's been one of the biggest changes I felt in our younger players when they've had an opportunity to be in and around the senior players on a more regular basis, which a lot of them have had this season, which when you talk about, you know, the season that Liverpool are having, which is, you know, quite staggering, for our manager to still support our younger players and to give them opportunity is quite remarkable, really. So I think there's been a real connection between the younger players and the first team players, and you know, long may that continue.
When we spoke prior to the Aston Villa game in the Carabao Cup, you said that whatever the result, it was going to be an invaluable experience for the players. The performance was very good, the result wasn't. How much has that, and maybe games like the match against Shrewsbury, how much can they fast track the development of the younger players?
You can't buy experiences like that. It's probably worth 1 million of my coaching sessions, to be honest with you. Taking the boys outside their comfort zone and putting them into a game like that, you learn so much about them, but more importantly, they'll learn more about themselves. And I was pleased with a lot of aspects of that performance, but I couldn't also help to be a little bit disappointed as well with the result. I thought that was little bit harsh on us. But we also have to take lessons from that, okay, yeah, we got some plaudits for the way we played, but we didn't do well enough in both penalty boxes. And if you're going to go into a results-driven business, you've got to win games of football. And we didn't keep the ball out at one end and we didn't score at the other end. So that's not a recipe for getting success.
Following Liverpool, home and away.
BBC Radio Merseyside.
It's the FA Cup fourth round replay at Anfield. It's Liverpool against Shrewsbury. Let's join our commentary team of Craig Hignett and James Mountford.
Thank you, Ian. So, well, we thought we'd be about 12 minutes into the first half at this particular stage, but problems on the M62 have dictated that this game will now start at 8 o'clock. And just looking around us, Craig Hignett, I think we were just saying off air about 5 minutes ago, there were quite a few empty seats. The empty seats are still there, but maybe just about everybody is in the ground by now.
Yeah, I think so. There's still one or two, but it's nowhere near as sparse as it was just 10 minutes ago. So hopefully everyone's got where they need to be, despite the traffic problems.
Players are coming out, and what a moment for Curtis Jones. At 19 years of age, he only turned 19 last Thursday. He is not only captain for the first time in his career, but he's Liverpool's youngest ever captain at this level, and he leads his under-23 colleagues out. They talk about the magic of the FA Cup. Could there be magic tonight with Jurgen Klopp's decision not to play any of the senior players, not to even appear himself on the touchline, but hand it over to Neil Critchley against the experience and perhaps the know-how of Shrewsbury Town, who are 59 places lower in the league. But really, that sort of stat goes out of the window when you consider that not too many of these Liverpool players tonight have even starred this season for the first team. Curtis Jones, Nico Williams, all Pedro Chirivella, Harvey Elliott, they have experience of playing with the senior side, but for the likes of Adam Lewis, for Jake Kane, for Leighton Clarkson, for Liam Miller, this is new territory. The Shrewsbury Town supporters, by the way, 8,000 of them in tonight. They're in the Anfield Road end, and their players just go away to applaud them. Let's give tonight's warm-up, and what a moment this is for these Liverpool players, hearing "You'll never walk alone." And I guess, Craig Hignett, it's a highlight of anybody's career to hear this.
Oh, it's fabulous. I mean, it's totally different to what you hear at any other ground, you know. Especially at a big game day, it's breathtaking to watch.
And these players, who no doubt have sat in the stands on many occasions for moments like this, now get to grace the Anfield turf at this time. Let's give you Liverpool's lineup tonight. It includes a team which Neil Critchley has handed 4 debuts to. Quiveen Kelleher starts in goal. There's a back four of Nico Williams. The centre-backs will be Keanu Hoover and Sepp van den Berg, with Adam Lewis making his debut at left-back, in for the injured Yasser Larouci. The midfield three will be Leighton Clarkson, who gets himself a full debut tonight, alongside Pedro Chirivella, and at 11 appearances, Pedro Chirivella is Liverpool's most experienced player tonight. And Jake Kane, at 18 years of age, gets a debut also in midfield. The front line is led by another debutant, Liam Miller, a Canadian international who was playing his football with Kilmarnock until January. Curtis Jones is the captain, and Harvey Elliott also line up alongside. You can hear just how much these Liverpool fans are willing them on with the way they're singing "You'll Never Walk Alone." On Liverpool's bench, Joe Hardy, Tony Gallagher, Elijah Dixon-Bonner, Morgan Boys, Jack Byrne, James Norris and Viteslav Jaros. For Shrewsbury, it's the same starting 11 that started that 2-2 draw against Liverpool down at Montgomery Waters Meadow. Max O'Leary starting in goal, a back three of Scott Goldborn, Roshawn Williams, Ethan Ebanks-Landell, a midfield four of Aaron Pierre, Sean Goss, Dave Edwards and Donald Love, as our referee Andy Madley gets us underway, with Josh Lauren, Sean Worley, who is an ex-Southport player, born in Whiston, and Evertonian Callum Lang who is their number 9, and the bench for Shrewsbury Town tonight of League One: Omar Beckles, Ryan Sears, Brad Walker, Daniel Udo, Jason Cummings, who got 2 goals in the first game to get Shrewsbury back on level terms, former Liverpool youngster Sam Hart, and goalkeeper Joe Murphy. We are underway, and Liverpool are shooting towards the Anfield Road end in their all-red. Shrewsbury in blue shirt with a yellow stripe down the centre, blue shorts and blue socks, and immediately Van den Berg, who's wearing shirt number 72 no less tonight, Craig. But by the way, to be outdone, it should be said, by Leighton Clarkson, who's 84, and Jake Kane, who's 80. Long ball for Jones to chase, and it's straight to the arms of Max O'Leary, and the nerves will be going through both teams, right, there at the moment.
Yeah, I would think so, but I mean, Neil Critchley would be pleased with how confidently his young side have started. They've really knocked the ball about well. They haven't given Shrewsbury a touch. They look confident. Every one of them is wanting the ball, and that's what you want to see.
Liverpool's under-23s, by the way, were in action over the weekend, but it was a much changed side for this game. So when these players last played, it was in a result at Wolves, which they won last Thursday. Harvey Elliott scored quite a spectacular overhead kick in that particular game in the Premier League International Cup. Liverpool have it at the moment. It's through Curtis Jones. He's going to try and get the ball into the middle. Just behind him has gone Adam Lewis, but Jones decides to go it alone. Lewis will pass back to Van den Berg, and he plays it across to his partner Keanu Hoover, who actually played in the FA Cup at Wolves for Liverpool last season. Lewis then sends a long ball over towards the edge of the penalty area. It's headed forward by Roshawn Williams for Shrewsbury, and brought down now, and Shrewsbury are going to try and pass it between themselves. They get the ball back to the goalkeeper O'Leary, but a short ball has got them into a little bit of trouble. And now this is Miller, who's going to try and cross on the left-hand side. It hits the heels of a Shrewsbury defender, who will pass straight out to Love. Love is dispossessed, and good pressure here by Liverpool. It's almost like the first team. Now this is going to be Shewsbury, who sends the ball over to that right-hand side, and it's picked up by the relatively experienced Nico Williams, who goes back to Shewsbury. Short ball forward to Clarkson, back now to the defender Van den Berg, and again to his central defensive partner Hoover. Clarkson for Liverpool, who was a winner with the FA Cup youth winning side last season when they beat Manchester City on penalties, making his full debut tonight for Liverpool. Now the ball is picked up on the left-hand side by Adam Lewis. Oh, it's a long ball over the top almost, and O'Leary in canary yellow tonight will watch that closely through the floodlights. And with 8,000 Shrewsbury fans behind him in the Anfield Road end, he just takes his time and maybe just allows his teammates just to get back into position a little bit. 0-0, 3 minutes gone.
Well, I think he's just giving them a breather, because Shrewsbury haven't been able to get their feet on the ball at all.
Lang is going to try and get clearer, but Hoover Hoover's up even at the back. Might be saying that a couple of times tonight. Oh, and Hoover actually is going towards his own goal, is being pressured by 2 different Shrewsbury players, but it's a goal kick. Liverpool, perhaps, and Keanu Hoover a little bit fortunate there.
Yeah, he was fortunate. He didn't make up his mind, and that's the difference sometimes between under-23 football and men's football. When you can take your time, when you can try and dribble out. Certainly not in your box, and not with these players.
Cardiff City leading Reading by 1-0. It's an all-championship tie in that 4th round replay. Cardiff 1, Reading 0. Long ball forward again up towards Miller, but it's brought down by the left-back Pierre. He then goes forward to Scott Goulbourne, the left-sided midfield player. Shrewsbury have lost possession, and Liverpool pass it back to Kelleher, who goes short. Just 19 years and 102 days is what this Liverpool team average out at, as the ball makes its way to Kane on this right-hand side for Liverpool, right on the halfway line. Anfield pretty much sold out tonight. They put admission prices down to £15 a ticket as Lewis sends a ball down the left-hand side. Miller will chase. And good pressing there as well from Clarkson, but the ball's gone out of play for a goal kick. We were underway here at 8 o'clock. At 7:45, Tranmere Rovers got underway against Doncaster in League One. Let's find out how they're doing. Derek Jones.
21 minutes gone, James, still goalless here. Tranmere certainly looking better in possession. The free kick wide on the left-hand side a few moments ago. Trying to find the head of James Vaughan inside the penalty area, but Doncaster dealt with that one. But it broke for Morris edge of the penalty area. Bobbling shot in the end that went well wide of Sonny Dieng's left-hand post. The Tranmere is certainly causing 1 or 2 problems for Doncaster. They seem to be hitting the ball long on the break and trying to use their pace against Monthly and Woods. But 21 minutes into this one, it's still Tranmere 0, Doncaster 0.
Liverpool 0, Shrewsbury 0, as Jones is brought down midway inside the Shrewsbury half as he tried to run away from his defender, and Liverpool have a free kick.
It was a great ball by Adam Lewis and a lovely take. Just sucked the player in there, Curtis Jones, and player dived in, went over his leg. It was a clear foul for
Jones.
Really good composure.
Again, he's going to roll out to that left-hand side. It's returned to him. Comes back to him again from Lewis, playing left back but playing very high indeed. He plays it back to the halfway line. Keanu Hoover receives it from the Auburn-haired Sepp van den Berg. Forward now to Chirivella, who's inside the centre circle. Liverpool just happy to play around their back line, which gives them plenty of confidence now. This is Harvey Elliott, familiar hair tied back, plays a 1-2 there with Kane. And Kane gets the ball over to Lewis on that left-hand side, rolls the ball down. Elliott has switched to the left-hand side, now goes back looking for Jones. It's intercepted though, and it will be the midfielder Goss who will clear for Shrewsbury up to the halfway line. Brought down though well by Van den Berg, and via Chirivella the ball goes back to Keanu Hoover. Now Williams is on a march on the right-hand side. He's going to cut inside. Nice square ball for Chirivella. He thinks about going forward, but he's smoked out a little, so he goes back on himself. Liverpool has still got possession though, as Elliott rolls the ball back to the halfway line, chested down by Van den Berg, who gives it to Keanu Hoover. But it's been the under-23 side, if I can put it like that, who've had all the possession so far. Just that one minor scare for Hoover inside his own penalty area, which resulted in a goal kick, but that's the only real time we've seen Shrewsbury in the Liverpool half. Liverpool looking to make progress now on their right-hand side. They play the ball back to the defender Van den Berg. He goes to the midfielder Clarkson, Leighton Clarkson, making a full debut tonight. Back now to Van den Berg. Keanu Hoover now just on the right-hand side of the centre circle. Kane will have a quick touch of it, and Liverpool, Craig Hignett, seeing plenty of the ball at the moment.
Well, they are. They've knocked it about really well. I've been really impressed with the start that they've made.
Now on the right-hand side, it's going to be crossed in. Oh, and Shrewsbury player there has slightly miskicked it, but it is cleared. Back in though by Elliott and headed away yet again. Lewis stretches to try and get it back in towards the D. It's Miller stretches for it on the D. The referee says that Miller was offside, and you can hear the applause and the appreciation for this young Liverpool side around us.
Yeah, some really good play, 1 and 2 touch passing, moving the ball, switching it when they can. I mean, they haven't asked too many questions in that final third yet, but in terms of possession and dominating the game, they've had a really bright start.
So it's a free kick to Shrewsbury, which their goalkeeper Max O'Leary will take. He decides to send it down that right-hand side, and now this is Donald Love who gets an early ball into the box, but it's well read by Quiveen Kelleher. Lang was running in. Liverpool defence went with him, and Kelleher rolls it out now to Chirivella. He plays it to Williams. Chirivella just stretches with Lang coming in on him. Williams plays it back to Van den Berg, and now Clarkson plays it out wide left to Lewis. You could never tell some of these players are making their debut the way they've started this game, playing so confidently in possession. Williams now has given the ball to Elliott, who's gone back to that right-hand side. And now Van den Berg for Liverpool, happy to pass it around their back line, gives it to Keanu Hoover. And now Elliott has the ball on that right-hand touchline, will go forward to Miller with his back to goal. Miller forced back towards the halfway line, so he plays safe and gives it to Keanu Hoover. plays it out to the left back, Adam Lewis. Nice ball down. This is Miller, who makes a dart down towards the byline, comes back on himself, plays the ball back to Clarkson, and Lewis has gone on the overlap. Lewis, nice ball from that left-hand side. Nobody can really attack it, though. It's gone straight into the arms of the goalkeeper O'Leary. 0-0.
Yeah, I think they're going to have to be a little bit more clever than that, than just putting a ball in, because the three big centre-halves of Shrewsbury will eat them up for breakfast. You know, anything straight, anything in the air, you would fancy them to dominate all night. It's the little clever ones, it's the cutbacks, it's the ones flashed across the 6-yard box, it's the 1-2s in and around the box. They're the ones that'll open Shrewsbury up.
0-0 here. You can hear Ale just starting as Shrewsbury put an early ball forward. It'll be chased down by Worley, but good defending by Vandenberg. Heads the ball back to his own goalkeeper Kelleher, who immediately rolls it out to his left to Lewis. Chiravella now for Liverpool. Perhaps he's a little bit unlucky not to be captaining the side tonight, but Curtis Jones has got that honour. Now Williams will try and play Elliott in, but the ball has got too much pace on it, and it will cross the line for a Shrewsbury goal kick.
Yeah, just cross wires there. Harvey Elliott didn't go for the run, he checked off, and Nico Williams thought he was going to make the run in behind the defender and played the ball there.
If it's anything to go by, Liverpool's under-21s in the EFL Trophy this season, they're in a group alongside Oldham, Fleetwood and Accrington Stanley, but failed to win any of those games. It's the only marker of any sort we've got in terms of how they might fare against seasoned Football League opposition. As Roshawn Williams plays a long ball forward, it's gone all the way through to Love, who's right by the corner flag. Cop end. Love will get the ball in, it's blocked by Lewis, and it's gone out for a throw in. Good defending by Adam Lewis.
Yeah, it was important he stops the cross, because that's Shrewsbury's strength. You know, get the ball wide, get the ball into the box, get their big men in there. They've got some really big players, big tall players.
Donald Love, a free transfer from Sunderland in the summer. And it's him on the ball at the moment, just gets caught, and now this is Laurent just trying to dart through that Liverpool defence, and Liverpool have won themselves a goal kick. Again, good work by Lewis. It's certainly Josh Laurent, who I know you know very well, Craig, from your days at Hartlepool United. He was a real threat in that first game, and apart from Jason Cummings, who got the 2 goals, it was Laurent who, when he was coming forward, Liverpool were really on the back foot.
He's a really quick player. He's got tremendous physical attributes. He can run all day. He's a big unit at 6'2", 6'3". Really good technical footballer. This should suit him down to the ground.
Shrewsbury playing an undisclosed fee to Wigan for him 18 months ago. And we're just having a break in play here because a Shrewsbury player's gone down injured just by the halfway line. And the physio is on. Let's go to Prenton Park now, get the latest on Tranmere Rovers League One game against Doncaster Rovers. Derek.
Nearest to a goal, it was Doncaster Rovers who broke really well down the left-hand side. Gomez with the crossing in the end, and Ramsey arrived from midfield. His shot beat Scott Davis, but there was Liam Rylands back on his own goal line to just block the ball away. Second opportunity came, and Davis bravely turned the ball behind for a corner, which he's now caught happily inside his 6-yard box. So Doncaster using their pace then to get through that Tranmere defence, but no goal in the end. It's still Tranmere 0, Doncaster 0.
Seeing pictures on the monitor in front of us of Steve McManaman, who's here at Anfield tonight.
I think he's a mentor to some of the younger lads. I think he comes in and talks to them, and just to have someone like that around who you can ask advice for, and it's priceless, really.
Former Liverpool youngster Craig Hignett here. Interested to bear in mind that probably a lot of these lads were in the position that you were in.
Yeah, exactly. I mean, we were nowhere near the first team, by the way, at this age, because the first team was so dominant back then. But
they are now, you could argue.
Yeah, I mean, they are. It's and that's credit to Klopp. You know, he puts his faith in these kids. He's got no qualms in playing them at all. You only have to see the last game against Everton. You know, the FA Cup game against Everton, where he played a lot of youngsters, and they all done extremely well.
Elliott wriggles free from Dave Edwards, who's back up and running now. Crossed in from the right side, takes a slight ricochet on the way through as well. It's a low cross, and it's taken in the end well by Max O'Leary, the goalkeeper, FA Cup fourth round ties all over the place tonight. And Derby County in their game against Northampton Town, leading by a goal to nil. That's Championship against League Two. Andre Wisdom, former Liverpool player, eternal loanee, seem to remember when he was here, has got that goal there. Meanwhile, Edwards gives the ball away in the middle of the park to Elliott, who plays the ball back to Sepp van den Berg, who was an early signing for Liverpool last summer. Liverpool playing Zwolle in Holland, £1.3 million for him. And Keanu Hoover, under a little bit of pressure from Lang, plays it across the back line, inside his own half to Van den Berg. Now Clarkson, wearing number 84 tonight, plays it again across the back line. Forward now on that right-hand side to Williams, who's tried to advance a little bit for Liverpool, run into a bit of a cul-de-sac, and at the moment Liverpool just sort of happy to pass it around and hopefully find a way through. It's Hoover who sends a ball towards the edge of the penalty area. Jones is going to try and turn, he's prevented from doing so. Shewsbury appealing for a foul, referee says play on. Ball is passed towards the corner flag, which will be chased down there by Miller. And Liverpool do have themselves a throw-in. Lewis to take, level with the edge of Shewsbury penalty area. He looked for the quick run of Curtis Jones, but it's too far for the forward to get, so it's going to be a goal kick to Shrewsbury Town, 0-0.
Yeah, I mean, Shrewsbury have set their stall out. You know, they're defending from the halfway line. They're trying to keep it nice and compact when they can. They'll be happy dealing with the high balls, like we said before, but sooner or later, the Liverpool youngsters have got to find a way of unlocking them and ask a few more questions of the back three or back five.
Liverpool 7-time winners, of course, of this competition, most recently back in 2006 against West Ham United. Shrewsbury, their best ever progress in this competition. They reached the quarter-finals in 1979, and again 3 years later in 1982. It's their first ever visit to Anfield tonight. Ball at the moment has been put out of play by the winger Love, who scored a very bizarre own goal in the first game. Craig, you may have seen it. Yeah, it was actually quite a good goal, but he ended up putting into his own net from just inside his own penalty area. And Liverpool were really gifted a goal in that occasion. Had it not been for that, they may well not have been here tonight at all. 0-0 the score. No goals at Tranmere Rovers either. Cardiff leading Reading by a goal to nil. Derby 1-up against Northampton as well. Liverpool's under-23s certainly not feeling under-23 at the moment in this game, having the majority of the possession as the ball is kicked away by O'Leary. Van den Berg goes up for the header, headed forward by Shrewsbury, and Van den Berg, while running back, gets above Lang and heads into the path of Williams, who turns it to Hoover, and just in front of his own penalty area whips the ball away to Clarkson. Forward now to Lewis, who's on the halfway line, thinks about going forward but decides to go back to Leighton Clarkson, and he gives it to Van den Berg, and Liverpool will start again from the back, and Hoover's ball is intercepted there by Lang, and Lang surging forward. Great covering there by Chiravella, who spotted the danger early. He gets it to Hoover, who pokes the ball back into the path of Chiravella, and then great teamwork this from Liverpool, because they've worked it back to Kelleher. He gives it to Clarkson, forward to Lewis, plays a 1-2 with Jones. Oh, and Lewis's return ball to Jones, not what he would have wanted, but Jones, the captain, applauds his colleague for the thought.
No, but it was good thinking, wasn't it? It was excellent play, and really good play by Chiravella to see the danger and then sort it out, and Liverpool played the way out, and then there was a little 1-2 on there, and Curtis Jones had spun him behind his marker, and if the ball from Lewis would have been better and into the space he was in.
Ball is with Shrewsbury goalkeeper Max O'Leary now, who received it off the defender Ethan Ebanks-Landell. Forward now to Josh Laurent on the halfway line. Tries to hook it over Van den Berg and Worley, but it's too far forward, straight into the arms of Quiveen Kelleher, who bowls it out to his right, and Nico Williams, who I know is interesting the Welsh management at the moment. Ryan Giggs and co. with his progress. Sends the ball back to his defensive colleague Keanu Hoover. He plays a 1-2 with Vandenberg. And forward again down the right-hand side to Williams, who's going to try and take it beyond Edwards. Always managed to take it beyond the former Wolves man as well. Needs a little bit of help. And Shewsbury plays it short to Jones. And Liverpool again start from the back. But I don't know whether you call it respect or what, but Shrewsbury are sitting off Liverpool more than I thought they would tonight.
Yeah,
so
they
far.
are sitting off. I mean, Sam Ricketts won't be happy with them. I think he'll think they're showing them too much respect, the young lads, and they're just standing off and 2 yards off, letting them play, letting them pick passes.
Harvey Elliott now gives it to Curtis Jones on the right-hand side. He whips a nice ball into the penalty area, but it goes through everybody. Just needed someone maybe to gamble there. Goes straight out of play, straight off for a goal kick.
Yeah, they worked it nice down the right-hand side, and it was Curtis Jones had a lot of space there, but there was only one man in the box, and to find him with the three giants that Shrewsbury have got there, it would have been some ball.
Shrewsbury actually, since that meeting at Montgomery Waters Meadow, have actually lost their last 2 games. They lost it away at Gillingham, 2-0, going down 1-0 at Rochdale. Whether there was any sort of distraction at play in those particular games, who knows? But in the league, they're 16th at the moment in League One. Although they've failed to win any of the last 6 away from home. At the moment, ball is midway inside the Liverpool half. And Liverpool have themselves a goal kick. Lewis takes quickly, gives the ball to Vandenberg. Hoover up to Williams now on the halfway line. Inside to Jones. Back to Kane, who lifts a nice ball over for Williams to chase. Williams now level with the penalty area. Goes into a clattering challenge with Scott Goldborn. And Jones has been left on the ground. He's just picked up there by his teammate. And all is well. It was Williams who was just slightly caught there. Derby leading Northampton Town by 2-0 now. And Newcastle, the Premier League side, winning 1-0 away at League One Oxford. Sean Langstaff with the goal there. Newcastle unbeaten in the last 7 games now, by the way. Everton will know all about that. Ball at the moment on the halfway line. And it's Laurent who tries to get Shrewsbury motoring. Worley has it, right-hand side, gets an early ball in, Lang waiting in, and it was a case of safe, not sorry from Keanu Hoover, who puts the ball away for a corner.
Well, I think there you can see the difference between under-23s football and league football. You know, Shrewsbury, when they break, they look to get numbers in the box and they look to deliver into the box, and they look a lot more threatening in that final third than Liverpool have at the minute.
When they've got it there, Love is going to take a corner. He's decided to go short. It's gone all the way back to Goss, who sends well, it looked a threatening ball, but in the end it went straight into the arms of Kelleher, who immediately gets Liverpool motoring down the right-hand side. Jones will chase, but Goldborn gets there first, and Pierre hooks it back into the Liverpool half. It's right on the touchline now. Williams going up against the challenge from Lang. And the ball did just veer out of play, so throw into Liverpool midway inside their own half. This will be taken just in front of the Kenny Dalglish stand.
I'll never understand that, James, why Shrewsbury didn't put the ball in from the corner. I mean, that's their strength. That's where they're so superior to this young Liverpool side. They've got height and strength. Just put it in the box. Surely it's their best chance of scoring a goal.
24 minutes gone. Liverpool's youngsters 0. Shrewsbury Town seniors 0. As Kane turns the ball back now to Vandenberg. He gives it to the left back Lewis. He tries a ball down that left hand side, and Love, who was a free transfer from Sunderland back in the summer, blocks the ball, and it goes out of play. Throw in, which Lewis takes straight into the feet of Vandenberg. Back to Lewis. Long ball forward, and Miller goes. It was Jones, wasn't it, who slipped just in front of the penalty area, and he was pulled, I think, by Pierre. So free kick to Liverpool, just a couple of yards outside the penalty area.
Well, it's a great chance. You know, he's what, 20, It's that 24, 25 yards out. Perfect distance really for a right footer. And given what he did in the last FA Cup game, you would fancy Curtis Jones to have a go at this, wouldn't you?
Jones is there, Clarkson's there, and Elliott's there. Shewsbury at the moment are making a wall of...
And it looks a generous 10 yards as well.
This is going to be Jones, no doubt about that. Already got 2 goals in the FA Cup so far this season. Third time lucky.
He's got the quality.
Goes up, gets it over the wall, but straight into the arms of Max O'Leary. But he got it on target.
Yeah, it was disappointing, wasn't it, in the end, because it was just a side foot straight at the goalkeeper. You know, he didn't try and go over the wall or anything, just went to the side of the wall. Probably concentrating on just hitting the target.
Liverpool, by the way, 74% possession so far in this game. And we're talking about a side which has 3 debutants in, 1 full debut. Certainly doing themselves no harm at the moment. Long ball over the top to the edge of the Shewsbury area. Roshon Williams just having a job to sort himself out. It's gone to Kane, who'll try and lift the ball through towards Jones. It just goes beyond Curtis Jones, and he'll have to scamper towards the corner flag to try and keep the ball, and does so. Oh, and he there tried to skin Roshon Williams there. Jones is left on the floor, and we're going to see a free kick now.
What a lovely bit of skill. It was the pretend to kick it and scoop the ball round. Nutmegged Roshon Williams, and he just stepped across him, got an arm in his face, and it was a foul, but lovely skill.
Well, you talk about players not being used to things in the under-23s league. I don't think Roshon Williams will have seen that in League One.
No, I don't think so. I don't think so. But you can see there's no fear in these Liverpool youngsters. They just go out and enjoy their football and play with a real freedom.
Roshon Williams, who joined Shrewsbury on a free from Manchester United a year ago. Failed to make a senior appearance there. And we've got just a bit of treatment now for Curtis Jones. Hopefully nothing too much to worry about, but the treatment staff are on. Let's go to Tranmere Rovers, shall we? Doncaster Rovers, the visitors tonight on a cold night at Prenton Park, but a big game for Tranmere in the grand scheme of things. Derek Jones.
2 minutes to the break here, still goalless here. Doncaster with a couple of chances. After that, one was cleared off the goal line, a cross in by Halliday, and a header by Devante Cole that Davies grabbed underneath his own crossbar. And then good play by Tranmere, got Morris in inside the penalty area, decided not to shoot himself, tried to play it to James Ford, and then his shot was blocked away from danger. Almost half time here. It's Tranmere 0, Doncaster 0.
Tranmere with a couple of games in hand at the moment. On some teams above them, they're 6 points adrift though in the League One bottom 3. And, they will be desperate to get some sort of result tonight, really a win, just to keep them in touch and keep a little bit of pressure on the sides above them. Here, by the way, Curtis Jones still being given treatment. Looks like he's taken a blow to the nose, Craig Higbee.
Yeah, he's got a couple of nose plugs in, I think you'd call them. He can't play with 2 of them in because he won't be able to breathe. It'll be out of his mouth, and I think that's what he's saying now. I think he's just took one out.
You would have thought, wouldn't you? You know, I'm no medic, but the amount of years these guys have to do in medical school, and Curtis Jones has to say, I can't have 2 of them in at once because I can't breathe.
He's took them both out now, I think.
But Liverpool have a free kick in a fairly decent position. It's a couple of yards in front of the corner quadrant. Liverpool's players just on the edge of the penalty area at the moment, ready to surge in. Cross comes in, it's a near one, it's headed away at the near post. It comes back out and bounces down on the ground once Elliott will pick the ball up. He gives it back to the halfway line, and Lewis will spread it back to Hoover, who's just behind the centre circle. Williams gives it to Hoover, and then Chiravella will return the ball to Williams, who crosses the halfway line. 0-0 at Prenton Park between Tranmere Rovers and Doncaster at half-time there. That was a 7:45 start. This one, by the way, if you have just joined us, has been delayed by 15 minutes. We started in the end at 8 o'clock. As Lewis nicks the ball off the full-back centre. Really good cross in. It has to be punched away by O'Leary. Great play there by the left-back Lewis. Now this is with Williams on the right-hand side. Tries the step-overs. Comes back onto his right foot. Sends the ball in. It's headed away at the first attempt by Pierre, and Shrewsbury desperately trying to get it out there, defensive third at the moment, and Lang will play the ball short, and Worley's been dispossessed now, just inside the Liverpool half. It's going to be Jones, who from a very similar striking distance, and the goal is scored at Everton, thinks about having a shot, plays a 1-2 with Elliott, sends the ball in. It's half cleared, not totally yet though, and it will need Kane to try and put pressure on the Shrewsbury defence, and out of sheer desperation Scott Goldborn puts the ball out for a throw-in, which is taken quickly, but Curtis Jones there amongst the tricks. Again, Liverpool get the ball into the penalty area. It's against the defender Roshan Williams. Liverpool have it back just on the edge of the penalty area. Clarkson has a look out for Lewis, who has an ambitious attempt from a long way off. He drilled it low, it was wide of the target, goes out for a goal kick, but Curtis Jones again showing plenty of trickery.
Yeah, there was loads of tricks. It was a lovely little 1-2, and then he's done the old behind the leg, flick it over, but it was a great ball in, actually, back post, but Liverpool had no one running in on it. But I think just before that, Adam Lewis had a great little bit of play and put a fantastic cross in, but again, there was only one Liverpool player in the box.
0-0 the score on BBC Radio Merseyside, and Liverpool thrashing Shrewsbury at the moment in the possession stakes. 74% possession as goalkeeper Max O'Leary takes a goal kick and immediately goes out of play on the halfway line. It's strange to look down there and not see Jurgen Klopp, isn't it? We're used to seeing his charismatic body language on the touchline there, but it's Neil Critchley standing there tonight, of course. Now Elliott coming forward on this right-hand side, inside for Miller, who holds it up to Chirivella. He dinks it over to the right-hand side towards Williams, who's gone down under what looked like a high foot there. Williams, I think it was against Goldborn, to put a foot into his chest. Goldborn's going to get a yellow card here. Williams is left on the floor, and again we're going to see the medical staff called on for the third time this game.
It was just a floated ball really out to Williams on Liverpool's right hand side, and Goldborn obviously didn't see him coming. Williams had just nicked in front of him, got a touch on the ball, and then Goldborn had followed through. There was no real intent, no nastiness about it. It was just a coming together really.
And maybe something he wouldn't experience in the under-23s again.
He just got caught out. He was ball watching a little bit, didn't meet the ball, and Williams was a little bit too quick. I think he's got a yellow card for his troubles. It was a high foot when he was going for it, but you know, his eyes were on the ball, and I don't think there's any harm done.
So Williams still on the floor at the moment, being attended to. We've played 32 minutes here, and Neil Critchley in a thoughtful mood down in the dugout. Let's go to Prenton Park, shall we, for a half-time report. Tranmere Rovers against Doncaster Rovers, and Derek Jones.
Yeah, one good opportunity for each side. Gomez did well on the left. Ramsey with a shot past Davis, and Rideout was there to clear the ball close to his own goal line. And then the other end, Ferry did well to get past Halliday defending, pull the ball back, scramble inside the 6-yard box. Woodyard following up with a volley over the top of Dieng's crossbar. Half-time here, Tranmere 0, Doncaster 0.
Liverpool free kick just very near to the angle of the penalty area. Anfield Road end. It's going to be Harvey Elliott who will swing this in with his left foot, but it's hit the Shrewsbury defender and spins away to the left-hand side. Picked up by Liverpool though. It is Lewis, does well to get beyond Callum Lang, and he sends a nice chip ball to Nico Williams, who plays a lovely 1-2 with Elliott. Williams going now, breaks into the area, has a shot, and it goes across the face of goal. Narrowly past Max O'Leary's right-hand post, and that's the closest Liverpool have come to scoring.
Well, it was brilliant play, wasn't it? From one full back to the other. Adam Lewis played the ball right across the pitch, and it was a lovely 1-2 into the box. Nico Williams, right foot, went past one Shrewsbury player. I think it went through the legs of the other one, but keeper was diving, he wasn't sure where it was, and then it just only a couple of yards past that right-hand post.
Got to take your hats off to how well these Liverpool youngsters are doing, really. They're really matching Shrewsbury. They're more than matching them.
Well, Shrewsbury haven't been able to get any rhythm going. They've had no possession of the ball. I mean, it's the first time they've had it, but you can see the Liverpool players, how intense they are closing down. You know, every one of them is really up for it, and they've been absolutely brilliant in this first half.
Goalborn now for Shrewsbury Town. He's got near the Liverpool penalty area. He will lay the ball off now. This is Worley. He will try and cross it in. It's come out to Laurent just outside the penalty area. Now Laurent on that left-hand side of the area, back to Goalborn. He's got plenty of red shirts around them. Newcastle leading 2-0 now away at Oxford United in their 4th round replay. Joe Linton gets a bit of a collector's item there for 40 million. He doesn't get many. Long ball forward now from the Shrewsbury defender, Ethan Ebanks-Landell, and that's just gone out of play. Don't think Goalborn knew what was coming at him there. It's a difficult ball to get. It's gone out for a throw into Liverpool.
No, I think that's the first time Shrewsbury have put more than 4 passes together.
Well, Liverpool have had 3 shots on target. Sorry, 3 shots, beg your pardon, to Shrewsbury's none. 1 shot on target. And 75% possession, and as Craig Hignett alluded to earlier, Shrewsbury have had the game's only corner, and they decided to go short, or not even short. They went back.
I mean, it is a strange one. It'll be physically, it'll be a mismatch. No, but I mean, technically, you can see how good the Liverpool players are.
36 minutes gone. Many, of course, will be internationals for their respective age groups. As Clarkson just snuffs out a bit of danger on the left-hand side of the centre circle. Angles the ball over towards Williams, but it's intercepted, and Pierre will get the ball forward. Worley chests into the path of Laurent, and his ball forward goes off a red shirt, and it's going to be a throw-in. Shrewsbury, by the way, have kept just 1 clean sheet in the last 10 games. That one coming in the FA Cup in their home win against Bristol City in the FA Cup 3rd round replay. That's the win that got them here. They've not scored since that game against Liverpool either. Now Shewsbury will chip it forward. Miller had made a run, but it's intercepted, and Goss hoists the ball back into the Liverpool half, but picked up really well by Liverpool. And I mean, it's almost like watching the first team.
Well, it is that the patterns of play are very, very similar. You know, the way they move the ball through the thirds is very similar.
Liverpool deserve a goal, but can they get one? As Shewsbury looks to angle the ball towards Williams, but it's cut out by the left back Goalborn. Laurent just avoids a challenge from Miller, and Laurent still has it. Looks to send the ball through the centre circle, but it's intercepted by Kane. Goes back to Roshan Williams, and Love on the right-hand side now inside to Goss, who does get the ball out to Goalborn, left-hand side, just being pressured by Elliott, so he turns back towards the halfway line. Gets it back to Ebanks-Landell. Sends a ball to the right-hand side to Love to try and pick up, and Love's first touch just allowed Clarkson to pick the ball up. He got it forward to Jones, but Liverpool have been intercepted. But great play again as Worley was coming forward. Kane read it really well, and with a bit of help from Clarkson manages to snuff out the danger again. But Shrewsbury have it. A little bit of possession now for the first time maybe from the League One side, as Worley gets the ball out to Love, right-hand touchline, sends a low cross in. It's blocked by Van den Berg, comes out to Curtis Jones, who's quite deep at the moment, and tonight's captain goes inside to Shewsbury under a little bit of pressure from Laurent to Van den Berg, who turns it back to Kelleher, and the goalkeeper first time hits it up towards the halfway line. Was there a push there from Roshan Williams on Liverpool? But the referee says play on, and Elliott carries the ball patiently over the halfway line. Got a bit of space around him. Plays it inside now for Kane. He squares it to Curtis Jones. Lays it off really well for Leighton Clarkson. Over to Lewis now. Back inside for Jones. Midway inside the Shrewsbury half. Just to the right. Kane, lifts a lovely little ball over. It's squared by Clarkson. And then Williams has a strike, and it's blocked. And it'll go out eventually for a corner. A super opportunity there. The ball popping out to Williams, who struck it on the half volley. It was well blocked. And Craig Hignett, I'm a bit surprised it's not gone out for a corner. It's been given as a goal kick.
Yeah, I think he's given it as a foul. I mean, it was great play edge of the box. It was a 1-2. Might have been offside, might not. But when the ball came in from Leighton Clarkson, I think it was, and made the run. It went all the way over, and Nico Williams found himself back post. Really hammered it. It was a good block by Goalborn at that far post, 6-yard line, and Then Nico Williams went flying in again and caught the man, got a yellow card for it, I think.
Yeah, it was all hammer and tongs there from Nico Williams. As a ball comes forward from Shewsbury.
Well, the first time really we've seen them get in behind them, isn't it, and play something across the 6-yard box with bodies in there.
Shrewsbury Town have themselves a throw, and it's level with their own penalty area. And yeah, we are now going to see a yellow card, just to confirm what Craig saw. That's been confirmed that Nico Williams got a yellow card. Second yellow card of the game after Scott Goldborn had a yellow card earlier. Williams has the ball at the moment, inside to the centre circle, gives it now to Leighton Clarkson on the left-hand side of midfield, back to Van den Berg, and again to Kiana Hoover, who will find Harvey Elliott on the right-hand side, hugging that touchline. Inside now to Jake Kane, at 18 years of age, making his debut. Only signed professional forms back in September, and it was Williams who tried a cheeky back heel into the path of Elliott.
He's had a really good first half, Jake Kane. He's done everything asked of him. He's got 1 or 2 important foot in. Stopped it, broke up a couple of bits of play, and he's been neat and tidy as well with the ball.
4 minutes to go, 0-0. Just a reminder that this has to be decided on the night. Extra time and penalties should we need them. As Van den Berg sends the ball out to that left-hand side. Here's Clarkson with a long ball forward. It's a diagonal ball. It'll be chased down by Williams, and both Williams and Goldborn both going into a 50-50 challenge there. No quarter asked or given, and the outcome of that is a corner.
Well, again, it was a really good ball by Adam Lewis. It was a 60-yard pass. Goldborn wasn't sure what was around him. Nico Williams had made a run from right back, managed to get there just before it went out to play, and got a corner for his team.
Kane will take right-hand side, just where the Anfield Road meets the Kennydale Gleesh stand. In it comes, headed away by Goss, only to the edge of the area. Clarkson has a shot, it's charged down, and the ball pings back into the centre circle. And watching it very closely was Lewis, who's the furthest man back for Liverpool at the moment. About a third of the way into the Liverpool half. Interesting that Shrewsbury weren't pressing Lewis there, whether they were just happy to let him have the ball and pick his pass as Liverpool build again.
I think we'll see a change from Shrewsbury in the second half. I think they'll go and close Liverpool down and not sit off them like they have done first half, because it's been really easy. Liverpool have had no pressure on themselves.
Williams floats the ball into the area, but it's too high for Miller, who was waiting inside the centre circle. Ball eventually does go out of play after hitting the corner flag. So it's a goal kick to Shrewsbury Town, 0-0. 2 minutes to go, but Liverpool, for their efforts, deserve to be a goal up, but you just hope, don't you, that football being football doesn't come back to punish them.
Yeah, I mean, it's won and lost in both boxes, isn't it? You know, they've got to do more than they're doing at the moment in the attacking third to score a goal. They haven't really threatened enough.
Elliott inside the centre circle, runs forward, will just chip it forward into the path of Miller, who's trying to get the right side of about 3 Shrewsbury players. In the end, it's Goldborn who hooks the ball away from inside his own penalty area up to the halfway line. It's gathered now by Worley. He sends it out to the right-hand side, and Love just inside his own half will leave it to Roshawn Williams. Forward now to Goss, and now Donald Love has it just inside the Liverpool half now. Liverpool keen just to press the blue shirts of Shrewsbury back, and they've done that really well to that effect, because Roshawn Williams has now passed back to Max O'Leary in goal, who sends a long ball forward. Good head there by Lewis, just rose above Edwards. The ball's gone into the other half where Shrewsbury pick it up. Lewis is down, but has now got up, albeit limping a little, as a long ball forward comes from O'Leary. Worley tried to head it down to the path of Lang, but well read by the limping Lewis.
Looks like he's got a dead leg there, Lewis.
But he plays on really well regardless. Shewsbury charges forward now through the centre circle. Will just leave the ball to Jake Kane along the floor to the left-hand side. Picked up by Leighton Clarkson, who gives it to Lewis. Inside now to Jones. Back to Clarkson. Jones now. If you've just joined us, this is Liverpool we're talking about. The unfamiliar names are certainly flying the flag with pride tonight, as Kiana Hoover just sends a nice ball into the penalty area, and Sean Williams has a problem getting rid of it. In the end, is helped on by Ebanks Landell of Shrewsbury, and Lang will hook the ball forward for Worley to run onto. Worley now gets to the byline, does send a cross in, but Vandenberg puts it behind for a corner. Shrewsbury, on a rare occasion, show a little bit of teeth up front.
Well, he had a bit more time there, Vandenberg. If he'd had a little look around him, there was no one really. He could have took a touch and played out.
So are Shrewsbury going to do what they did last time and go short, or maybe they're going to be a little bit more ambitious, in quotes, and go long? It's going to be the midfielder, Goss, who will take this corner, Kop end. It's where the Kop meets the main stand. Liverpool have got everybody back inside their penalty area. Goss with the corner. It's an in-swinger. It's towards the back post. Williams does get a header onto it. Miller tries to take it away for Liverpool, and Miller is felled by Laurent just on the angle of the penalty area. Liverpool free kick, and again Shrewsbury, it's great for Liverpool, but failing to make the most really of set pieces.
That was just a floaty one, wasn't it? Just there was no real pace on it. It was back post. It was a difficult one for anyone to attack.
I have to say, Shrewsbury look a very ordinary League One side on this first 45 minutes. And Liverpool going to allow them to almost get away with it a little bit. Here is Sean Williams, sends a high ball. This will be Lang who runs onto it. Kelleher comes out of his goal and heads forward onto Lewis, who gets the ball into the Shrewsbury half. Sean Williams hooks it back into the Liverpool half. Lewis again heading. Chirivella trying to get away from Edwards. That's got to be a foul. It is. And Edwards, who I think knows that he caught Chirivella there, just checks he's okay. And Chirivella back up on his feet. But Liverpool will know they've been in a game, won't they, for the sheer amount of fouls I think that Shrewsbury have carried out on them. The foul count, by the way, 7 for Shrewsbury, just the 1 for Liverpool.
And I don't think Shrewsbury got anywhere near them. I think they'll get closer second half, certainly. I think they'll put it on them a little bit and make sure that they know they're in a game.
Second half underway, by the way, at Tranmere Rovers.
Yeah, because at the minute they're just sitting off. They've obviously got a game plan, and the game plan is let's fall back to the halfway line, let Liverpool have the ball, and then as they work their way up the pitch, that's when we'll start to close down. But even then, middle third of the pitch, like now, they're not really closing them down. They're moving, but they're not putting Liverpool under any pressure.
Coming to the end of first half stoppage time now. 3 minutes into it as Kiana Hoover makes a rare advance down Liverpool's right-hand side. He stopped in his tracks though by Josh Laurent, who pokes the ball forward towards Worley. But again, good vision there by Lewis, who's really impressed on that left-hand side. Just intercepts and gives it to Vandenberg, who returns it to goalkeeper Kelleher, but the referee, Andy Madley, blows up for half-time, and a thoroughly satisfying half for Liverpool's youngsters. They have done pretty much everything apart from score, Craig Hignett.
Yeah, I mean, they've dominated the game. They've passed Shrewsbury off the park, really. Shrewsbury haven't really been in it, but the one criticism I'd have is in the final third, either they haven't got enough bodies in the box when balls are coming into the box, and there hasn't been that variation there. We've seen it when there's a 1-2, Shrewsbury get done by it. Liverpool will open Shrewsbury up with 1-2s in and around the box. When they get wide, the ball into the box isn't going to undo them. You know, it's going to have to be a hell of a ball, because Shrewsbury is sitting there with their 3 giants centre halves who just head it away all day long. So Liverpool have to find a different way of playing through them or getting chances on goal, because the Shrewsbury keeper hasn't made a save yet. He's had one free kick from Curtis Jones that went straight at him. That was an easy save, and then Nico Williams had one at the back post that was blocked. Apart from that, there hasn't been anything else. I mean, when Shrewsbury have gone forward, they've looked the more threatening, but Liverpool haven't had to defend that much, so they've let them off the hook.
Certainly have. Liverpool's only shaky moment perhaps coming in the opening exchanges when Kiana Hoover suddenly found himself facing his own goal with Shrewsbury players around him, but he was rescued on that occasion at the other end, as Craig just mentioned. Nico Williams has had 2 threatening opportunities with a long-range drive from outside the area that just went narrowly to the right of Max O'Leary's goal, and then on the half volley, lovely work on the left-hand side. It was Clarkson who got the ball in, and it came out to Williams. He hit it, and it went straight into the path of O'Leary, and eventually went away. So it's Liverpool at the moment who are owning the possession stats as well. 66% possession to 34%. 4 shots for Liverpool, 1 of which has been on target. But the key question is in this FA Cup 4th round replay is, can they convert chances into goals? Half-time here, it's Liverpool 0, Shrewsbury 0. Championship against League One. Cardiff leading their championship rivals, Reading by a goal to 0. Derby 2 up against Northampton, and Oxford 0, Newcastle 2. Northampton actually have got 1 goal back against Derby, so it's now 2-1 there. I was about to say the baseball ground, Craig, but maybe I'm showing my age there.
What year
a little bit. Indeed, yeah, Pride Park. Even you played there. Let's go to Prenton Park, shall we? Tranmere Rovers against Doncaster Rovers in League One. Second half is underway there. And Derek Jones.
Yeah, 7 minutes gone in the second half, and Doncaster already threatening as they've got behind the Tranmere defence on a couple of occasions. First, Gomez played in good ball, and Niall Ennis got on the end of it. Tight angle for him though, and he can only hit the side netting. And then just before he came over, Gomez, who created an opportunity in the first half that Ramsey saw blocked on the goal line, again got behind the defence. Kieran Sadler arriving beyond the far post, struck a fierce shot, but terrific save by Scott Davis. Not only got his body behind it, but also held onto it as well. We've seen Tranmere almost get forward when James Vaughan was tugged by Joe Wright when he looked to get behind him. Right, seeing his name going, referee Lee Doughty's notebook. But 8 minutes into the second half here, it's still Tranmere Rovers 0, Doncaster Rovers 0.
Well, on Sunday, Liverpool's women's team take on Everton at Goodison Park in the Women's Super League. That's a game you can hear live here on BBC Radio Merseyside. You may remember that Everton won the first derby earlier this season at Anfield by a goal to 0. Liverpool, though, now off the bottom of the table. They've won 2 consecutive games, and the Reds' Sophie Bradley-Auckland says getting that first win of the season at Bristol City was a very important result.
It was massive. You know, there was a lot of pressure riding on that game as well, you know, because of where we are in the league and how close on points we were with Bristol. So, you know, a lot of pressure, but I think after the game we was all relieved. But we knew that we deserved them points as well. It wasn't a case of luck. You know, we'd worked really hard, and, you know, we were the better team on the day as well. So it was nice to come away with the 3 points.
And so much about sport is about confidence, isn't it? And having got that first win, you then put 8 past Blackburn.
I know. You know, it is. It definitely is. We kept saying, you know, we just need 1 win. Because, like I said before, the performances were there. We just wasn't getting the results. But we're lucky. We've got a really great team, a great squad of girls, you know, and we work so hard, and the staff as well. And we all knew, like, no one's mindset was negative. We all knew we just needed to keep doing what we've been doing, and the results will come. So to have got that, and then to go on to Blackburn, I think that was, you know, that was just coming, a performance like that, to get that many goals. And, you know, Blackburn played well as well. So I think it was a real confidence booster, and like you say, it's mad what confidence can do to you.
Yeah, and you're off the bottom of the table now, albeit on goal difference, but obviously moving in the right direction. And there are plenty of games still left for you to get yourselves up the table even further. Yeah,
I think, you know, Vicky said to us before the Bristol game, you know, girls, you know, relax. We're into the second half of the season. We've got just as many games as we've had already. We've got that many to come. And I think that put us all in a good headspace to know that, you know, we've got plenty of chances to work our way up that table and to get ourselves out of the position that we're in at the moment. So, like you say, we've gutted at the weekend not to have had that game, but we've got plenty more games coming. And, you know, we've just got to bide our time. And when the games come, we need to make sure that we walk away with the points that we deserve. I think hopefully this weekend there'll be lots of, it's a rivalry, isn't it? You know, Everton, Liverpool, but hopefully we'll be the ones that walk away with the points this time.
Yeah, it's a derby, isn't it? So you'll have that extra motivation of wanting to put right what happened at Anfield.
Yeah, I mean, you know, every game you go to, you always want to walk away with the 3 points, but they always say it's extra special when it's in a derby and against Everton. So we felt that, you know, when we was at Anfield, and, you know, they were clapping the crowd at the end and they were celebrating. You know, it hurt It definitely did, and it's something that none of us have forgot. So to have the return fixture at Goodison, what better place to play the return fixture, and hopefully we can get a good crowd there as well watching that game, and it should be a great occasion.
And just finally, what kind of a challenge will it be against Everton? Because they're fifth in the table, although they have lost a few recently. I think it's 4 out of the last 5. So is it a good time to play them?
It's always a good challenge, and I think sometimes when it's a derby, I think the previous results, they do all go out the window because it's just a different game that you're competing in. It's like no other game, if I can say that. So as much as, we can look at their previous performances and their previous results, and I'm sure they'll be looking at ours, but ultimately it comes down to, who wants it more on the day, who's got more fight, and, who can put the ball in the back of the net. So it's definitely a different game, but it's something, we've been working on all week. With having the game off at the weekend, it's given us more time to prepare for this weekend's game, so we'll all be ready for it.
2 o'clock kickoff at Goodison Park on Sunday. Everton women against Liverpool women in the Women's Super League. Do join us for live commentary. There's been a goal at Prenton Park, second half in League One. Tranmere against Doncaster. Derek Jones.
Yes, I said that Doncaster made a decent start of the second half, and they've got the first goal in this one as well. Sadler, who'd brought that really good save out of Scott Davis just a few moments ago, got away from Manny Monfey down the right-hand side and then got his head up, was able to pull the ball back. And there was Jacob Ramsey stealing in to fiercely drive it past Scott Davis. No chance at all for the Tranmere goalkeeper. It was almost 2 just after that, as well as Cameron John. The curler just inches wide. Kane Wilson just driving down the right-hand side for Tranmere. I think the home fans thought the push might have been inside the penalty area, but it's just on the edge, close to the dead ball line. But it's Doncaster Rovers with the first goal here. Jacob Ramsey, the goal scorer. Tranmere 0, Doncaster 1.
Keep you up to date with that one. Thank you, Derek. In the FA Cup 4th round replays, Cardiff now 2 up against Championship rivals Reading. That's in South Wales. Derby 3 now, Northampton 1. That's Championship against League 2. Now we thought we'd delve into our archives tonight for you to go back into a little bit of a FA Cup history for you. Only 5 years or so, because on this day back in 2015, Liverpool reached the FA Cup 5th round, beating Bolton Wanderers by 2-1. Bolton coming forward now. Liam Feeney on the right-hand side gets the ball in towards Mills inside the penalty area, who gets his head onto it. Comes down for Clough. Clough goes past 2 players. Is it a penalty? It is! Clough taken down. Well, he appeared to go past 2 players, Clough, but he was clipped. Well, Ida Gudjonsson has the opportunity of putting Bolton 1-0 up against Liverpool. He has done. And Liverpool have got it all to do if they're to prevent themselves going out of the FA Cup in the hands of a Championship club. Bolton 1, Liverpool 0. Henderson plays a ball over to Coutinho inside the centre circle. Now is Emre Can, forward to Gerrard, back to Can, back to Gerrard again. Liverpool edging closer, Bolton defending ever deeper. Can again trying to chip the ball forward. Raheem Sterling has kept Liverpool in the FA Cup. The Reds fans behind the goal go absolutely mental. And with 4.5 minutes gone, Sterling rescues the tie. Bolton 1, Liverpool 1. And Trotter goes in with a sliding challenge, but Coutinho gets there first, gives it to Moreno to cross away though by Wheater. Comes in for Moreno on the left, squares it up for Gerrard, and again for Henderson outside the area. Liverpool deciding what to do, and now Coutinho, can he make something of it? Has a shot! Yes! What a goal! Coutinho! What a goal! This time beyond doubt, and has sent Liverpool surely into the 5th round of the FA Cup. What a goal! What a way to do it! Well, what a way to finish this week! They've come from behind to take the lead, and Liverpool surely now can see this tie through.
When you're in the competition, you want to get through. And I think we showed great character in the game. After that penalty we got against, to come back from it, and in the last 5 minutes to score 3 goals. They can only do the confidence, the good, but the main thing and the most important thing is that we can progress in the cup.
The station that's first for football.
BBC Radio Merseyside.
There we go. All I can remember from that goal was David Thompson climbing all over me once Liverpool scored Half-time tonight then between Shrewsbury Town and Liverpool. The current Liverpool team, the current crop of Liverpool youngsters, more than holding their own against Shrewsbury. But can they get that goal that their endeavour has earned? Half-time 0-0. So free kick to Liverpool, just a couple of yards outside the penalty area.
Well, it's a great chance. You know, he's what, 24, 25 yards out. Perfect distance really for a right footer.
Shrewsbury at the moment are making a wall of,
and it looks a generous 10 yards as well.
This is going to be Jones, no doubt about that. Already got 2 goals in the FA Cup so far this season. Third time lucky.
He's got the quality.
Goes up, gets it over the wall, but straight into the arms of Max O'Leary. But he got it on target as Lewis nicks the ball off the fullback, sends a really good cross in. It has to be punched away by O'Leary. Great play there by the left back Lewis. It is Lewis, does well to get beyond Callum Lang, and he sends a nice chip ball to Nico Williams, who plays a lovely 1-2 with Elliott. Williams going now, breaks into the area, has a shot, it goes across the face of goal, narrowly past Max O'Leary's right-hand post, and that's the closest Liverpool have come to scoring. Curtis Jones lays it off really well for Leighton Clarkson. Over to Lewis now, back inside for Jones, midway inside the Shrewsbury half, just to the right. Kane, lifts a lovely little ball over, it's squared by Clarkson, and then Williams has a strike and it's blocked.
Live at Anfield.
BBC Radio Merseyside.
Yeah, welcome back to Anfield. Still awaiting the 2 sides, but plenty of substitutes warming up in the first half. And Craig, I suspect that these substitutes will be quite enjoying just this experience of warming up at half-time. And who knows, just one of them may be able to become an FA Cup hero.
Yeah, I mean, that's what they'll all be thinking. They'll all be desperate to get on the pitch and experience some of this. I mean, they've seen the lads in the first half. The way Shrewsbury played today, I don't think there's anything to be scared of. You know, someone could be a hero, and you know, why couldn't it be one of them?
Yeah, my only fear is
the bit he'll be worried about is the final third and getting more bodies in the box, maybe being a little bit more creative with their attack and play, and certainly getting more shots on goal and making the Shrewsbury keeper Max O'Leary work a bit more.
Steve McManaman, we mentioned him in the first half. He's actually sitting just behind the Liverpool dugouts tonight, just watching him having a word with Neil Critchley as well, whether he's just giving his thoughts on how Liverpool should go. Not really seen him in that sort of role in a Liverpool context before.
Well, he's done it for a few years now, because I remember a game at Hartlepool when Liverpool came up and played, and he came up with them, and he was there to offer advice, to run his eye over the game, give people tips, and just be a mentor really for all the lads. It's a role that he's really well suited to. He knows the game inside out. He's achieved so much, and he knows what it's like to be a young Scouse lad coming through the ranks at Liverpool, because you know, obviously he's done it himself, and I think it's for these young lads, you couldn't buy that.
Just here behind us, the fans applauding as Liverpool into the field. Yet to see Shrewsbury's players, but Liverpool back out, looking ready and raring to go. The officials are out, but we've still not got Shrewsbury Town, so hopefully they'll come out sooner rather than later. Liverpool will line up for the start of the second half unchanged, it appears. Quaveen Kelleher in goal. A back four from left to right of Adam Lewis, Seth Vandenberg, Kiana Hoover and Nico Williams. A midfield three of Jake Kane, Pedro Chiravella and Leighton Clarkson, with Curtis Jones, Liam Miller and Harvey Elliott up front. Shrewsbury have just emerged now. The Liverpool's bench, by the way: Joe Hardy, Tony Gallagher, Elijah Dixon-Bonner, Morgan Boys, Jack Byrne, James Norris and Vitoslav Jaros. They may be just names to you at the moment, but who knows, at the end of the game one of them could be an FA Cup hero. For Shrewsbury, they line up playing 3-4-3, Max O'Leary in goal, a defensive three of Scott Goulbourne, Roshan Williams and Ethan Ebanks-Landell, midfield of Aaron Pearce, Sean Goss, Dave Edwards and Donald Love, with Josh Laurent, Sean Worley and Callum Lang playing up front. And Shrewsbury's bench, as Andy Madley gets us underway: Omar Beckles, Ryan Sears, Brad Walker, Daniel Udo, Jason Cummings, Sam Hart, former Liverpool academy player, and Joe Murphy. And I would expect we will see Jason Cummings at some point in the proceedings, given his impact on the first game, getting Shrewsbury back into the game when it was 2-0, of course, to Liverpool. And that's when we saw that goal, didn't we? That strange own goal very early on in the second half, with Liverpool leading 1-0 at that particular time. Keanu Hoover, under a bit of pressure from Lang, will turn the ball back to Kelleher. Lang continues his run into the penalty area, but Kelleher gets it out to Sepp van den Berg. And Keanu Hoover now sends a dangerous ball, actually. It was over to Lewis, and fortunately for Liverpool, it just sort of bounces off Worley straight back into the path of Kelleher.
Yeah, I mean, he got away with that, didn't he? Hoover, he tried to switch a play from the right-hand side to the left-hand side, and he just hit it too low, and it smacked into Worley.
It's the voice tonight of a man who knows exactly what it's like to play for the Liverpool Academy, Craig Hignett, who was here in the late 80s and early 90s before moving on to become a successful Premier League striker. As Liverpool lift a long ball forward, and it's played off Ethan Ebanks-Landell in front of the Kop, and Liverpool take a corner. It's taken quickly as well. This is Jones for Liverpool, trying the step overs, gets into the penalty area, just chips the ball forward, it's headed away, and then a shot comes in from Nico Williams. It goes just over the bar into the Kop, and the Shrewsbury defence are having words with each other.
Well, it was a great position Nico Williams took up. He's actually been Liverpool's most effective forward-thinking player. You know, he's got right up this right-hand side, and when the ball's come across the box, more often than not, he's in at the back post. It was a decent effort, just couldn't get his knee over the ball to keep it down.
His biggest problem must be the fact that he's got Trent Alexander-Arnold between him and the first team.
But that could be his, you know, the biggest gift for him, because he's looking at a player who, at such a young age, people think he's very close to being the best in the world at his position. So, you know, if you want to learn off someone and see how something's done, you've got a great person in Trent to look up to.
It's Williams with the throw-in, threw it towards Miller, couldn't quite hold off his marker, and Goss will send the ball to Love on the right-hand side. It's picked up now by Worley, who's challenged from behind by Lewis, but Worley again does get it, gets a cross in. It's blocked by Shirivella, who will play the ball out of the penalty area back to Lewis, who sends a ball up down the left-hand side, but unfortunately for Liverpool it veers out of play. Shrewsbury had themselves a throw-in, and we knew we'd see a little bit of pressure at some point from the League One side, and possibly that might be in these early stages of the second half, as Goss receives the ball from a throw-in, sends it over to the left-hand side to Goldborn, who leaps up, can't quite get it under control. Williams is there as well. Williams dispossessed there by Edwards, who sends the ball down for Goldborn, squares inside. It's twisted and turned by Lang, who gets into the D, couldn't quite make himself room for a shot, but it's fallen to Goss now, does shoot, but it hits the shins of Kane, and it pops back out for Pierre. He squares the ball to Roshan Williams. Inside now to Jones, who has a pop from outside the area, but it's taken comfortably by the goalkeeper Max O'Leary. Let's just go to Prenton Park, get an update. Tranmere against Doncaster Rovers and Derek Jones.
70 minutes gone, still Tranmere trailing to that goal scored by Jacob Ramsey. A deep cross by Radaj, Andy Cook beyond the far post at full stretch, just couldn't quite turn it goalwards. Connor Jennings come on in place of James Vaughan as Tranmere try and find an equaliser here, but at the moment it's still Tranmere 0, Doncaster 1.
I'll let you know whether there's any more FA Cup fourth round goals to tell you about, but 0-0 here at the moment, as Liverpool just about managed to avoid giving away a corner. Lang was putting a bit of pressure on Keanu Hoover, but Hoover manages to stand strong between man and ball and lets the ball run out of play. Kelleher goes short to Van den Berg. Kelleher with the Shrewsbury Town fans behind him in this second half. Liverpool shooting towards the Kop, as you might expect in the second half.
Well, you can see already the way Shrewsbury are defending. You know, that let's get everyone back to the halfway line and we'll defend from there. It's gone out the window. They're a lot more pressed forward. You know, the lads are making almost a front two, and Shrewsbury are asking Liverpool to put a bit more pressure on them. You can see they're getting a bit closer and making it a little bit more harder for Liverpool to play out.
Edwards for Shrewsbury, back to Roshan Williams, who just chips the ball forward for Lang to run onto. Lang, the Evertonian, manages to get to the byline, is going to try and get across it, manages to nutmeg Hoover. Lang has gone down inside the area, but the referee doesn't look at it for too long, and Liverpool release Harvey Elliott down the right-hand side. He breaks into the Shrewsbury half. Still going Harvey Elliott, inside one, outside another. Pierre challenges him, Pierre gets too much on it for the referee's liking. It's a free kick to Liverpool. Harvey Elliott brought down. It's a good 30 yards out, but it is probably just in shooting range.
Well, it was good play up the other end by the Shewsbury player who nutmegged Hoover. Looked like he was going to get in, but stood on the ball. Then there was a quick break, and Nico Williams played Harvey Elliott in, who carried the ball 30-40 yards. It looked like he was just going to release. I think it was Shewsbury who'd got all the way up there and was just brought down by Pierre just as he was going to pass it.
Looks like Lewis and Leighton Clarkson standing over this at the moment. It's going to be the debutant Adam Lewis who's going to have a go from a long way out. He will strike it with his left foot. It goes straight into the wall and it pops back out to Keanu Hoover, who's in front of the centre circle, gives it to Sepp van den Berg. Liverpool defending with a really high line at the moment. Shewsbury gives it to Jones now, left-hand side, midway inside the Shrewsbury half. Jones has it in front of the Kenny Dalglish stand, manages to get it forward, and Kane now will give it to Elliott. Can he turn in time? Elliott goes to the short, it comes back out. It's a great save from Max O'Leary. Nico Williams was there. He may feel like he should have done better. He went low into the bottom corner, and O'Leary's left boot stops Liverpool taking the lead. Williams again gets the ball into the area, pops back out to Jones on the left-hand side of the area. He's going to try and put it back. Liverpool threatening at the moment, plays a 1-2. Jones is going to try and run on to get the return ball. Love goes in for a sliding challenge and puts it away for a corner.
I'll tell you what, James, if Nico Williams would have put that in the back of the net, that would have been as good as a first-team goal we've seen. It was unbelievably good play.
Liverpool take the corner. It's gone short, and now that Jones will quickly take a free kick. Now too quick for the referee. Referee wants it retaken. Jones was tripped. He put the ball down, took it really quickly, but it was too quick for the referee. A goal at the City of Cardiff Stadium. Cardiff now lead Reading 2-1. Reading getting a goal back. Birmingham 0, Coventry 1 is the latest score as well. That's Championship against League One at St Andrews, where both teams play their home games this season. Liverpool's free kick will be taken level with the edge of the penalty area. It's floated in, and it comes header from Shrewsbury. Manages to put it behind for another Liverpool corner. Roshan Williams getting his head to it on that occasion.
Well, they're asking loads of questions now.
Jones now gives it to Kane. Elliott now, right-hand side of the penalty area. Liverpool pressing at the moment. Jones just about keeps it on the right-hand touchline. Manages to turn his marker. Still got it, Curtis Jones. Pulling all the strings for Liverpool tonight. Now Elliott chips it forward. And Shrewsbury defender Ethan Ebanks-Landell puts it away for a corner. News of a goal quickly at Tranmere Rovers. Derek Jones.
Yeah, with 15 minutes left, Doncaster might have sealed this one. Ennis doing really well left-hand side, deep cross in, and Jacob Ramsey, his second of the night, this time with a powerful header. It's Tranmere 0, Doncaster 2.
Bad news there from Prenton Park, with Tranmere trailing by 2-0. Meanwhile, the pressure still mounting, with Liverpool coming forward as Williams has it, the right back. He leaves it for Elliott, level with the edge of the penalty area now. Just chips the ball forward towards Clarkson to try and get something on, but Shrewsbury show a bit of strength and move the ball forward and get it up to the halfway line as Van den Berg reads it well in front of Callum Lang, the striker, back to his own goalkeeper Kelleher. Pedro Shewsbury plays the ball back to Lewis. Now on this right-hand side, gives it to Clarkson, back now to defender Sepp van den Berg. Keanu Hoover just behind the halfway line. Liverpool so deserve a goal, but in football, as Craig Hignett knows only too well, the only thing that matters is when it goes in between the two posts. This is Harvey Elliott, who tried to turn Aaron Pierre there, but Pierre puts it away for a throw-in.
They've actually threatened more in the first 10 minutes of this second half than they did in the first half, Liverpool.
Williams
Some
throws
of the play has
ball
been outstanding.
Down to Liam Miller. He returns it now to Williams, goes infield, gives it inside to Kane, who passes back to Van den Berg. Lewis out to Elliott, who's drifted onto that left-hand side sends it in, it's headed away, comes out for Williams, who has a shot which was rising, and again it goes into the cup. And it's a goal kick for Shrewsbury, but to listen to the encouragement the supporters are giving them around.
And I think Nico Williams has probably had all the shots apart from the free kick. I mean, the disappointing thing is there, he's got so much ability and such good technique that the ball he just put his foot through that as hard as he could. There was no thought gone into that. Didn't try and keep it down, didn't try and keep it on target, just tried to put his foot through it. And I think he's better than that.
Liverpool, who, let's remind ourselves, unbeaten at home in the last 39 games in all competitions, drawing 0-0 at the moment with Shrewsbury, but it's a little bit different tonight because of the makeup of this young side, as Shrewsbury have it through Callum Lang on that right-hand side. He tried to get beyond Jones, who stood strong, and great play there by Lewis, who's not done too bad at all tonight, the former Rainhill School student. And Shrewsbury Town are making a substitution, and we're going to see the introduction of Daniel Udo for Callum Lang. Slightly surprised, Craig, that they're not bringing on Jason Cummings.
No, I know. I mean, Udo's a player who I do know. I've seen him at Telford quite a bit. We were interested for a little spell. Really powerful centre forward, scored a lot of goals for Telford, but he's certainly physical and he's quick.
Throw in for Shrewsbury, level with the Liverpool penalty area. Just thrown into Worley. Will go back out towards that touchline, being very closely marshalled by two red shirts. Worley trying his luck to get past both of Liverpool's players, does manage to get the cross in the end. Hoover alert, heads away, it's popped back as far as Goss, who sends the ball over to that left-hand side. Picked up now by Roshan Williams, he gives it to Goldborn. And now Pierre just chips the ball forward to the substitute Udo. Udo thinks about turning, he does manage to get a low ball in. It's a good save, but it's gone in! And Shrewsbury have scored. Well, would you believe it, for all of Liverpool's pressure, it's Shrewsbury who opened the scoring, and the Shrewsbury fans behind the goal celebrate because they know that they're very lucky to be leading. Liverpool 0, Shrewsbury 1.
Yeah, and that's what happens. You know, Udo, the substitute, came on, got played in the box. His strength got him turned. He's put a ball across, and it was Edwards, I think it was, who got on the end of it. It was a decent save from Kelleher, but he spilt it, and Worley was on hand just to nod it in.
Would you believe it? It's the Liverpool fan, Sean Worley. Oh, but we're going to see VAR now for offside.
No,
just when you think Shrewsbury have scored, this may be ruled out. We're awaiting the decision. The referee.
I'm not sure. I mean, it was a shot, wasn't it? So.
Well, the referee at the moment has got his hand to his ear. What's your feeling on this?
Well, I haven't seen it again. We haven't seen a great view of it, but he does look like he's in front of Edwards when he hits the ball. Whether he's past the last man of the Liverpool, it was Van den Berg, it would have been.
We're not seeing a replay of this as we normally do for Premier League games in front of us at the moment, so we are really in the hands of the referee, who's standing there with his right arm to his ear, and now he's walking towards the supporters, and the goal has been ruled out. It's no goal. It must have been offside. Anfield erupts. No goal. Offside.
Yeah.
That's the decision, and VAR comes to Liverpool's rescue.
Well, that's not offside there.
We are now seeing a replay of it.
He's given it offside for where Udo was. It's not. The offside was for Worley heading it in.
Well, as you said on different occasions, how far back do you take it?
Well, where he's given the free kick there, Udo's nowhere near offside. The offside play was Worley when he headed it in.
Liverpool let off the hook, still 0-0 as Williams tries to force his way into the penalty area. The ball cannons off him and goes into the cup. It's going to be a goal kick to Liverpool. Derby County leading Northampton by 4-1 now in the FA Cup. That's Championship against League Two. Wayne Rooney with the goal there. But you'd feel a bit hard done by, would you, if it was Liverpool?
Yeah, I think I would. I mean, especially where they took the free kick from. You know, he was suggesting that it was Udo who was offside from the first flick around the corner. He wasn't.
So Sean Worley from Worcester is denied a goal against his boyhood side, as Pierre sends the ball back to O'Leary.
I mean, I'd like to hear the reason. Oh, Kelleher's come right out.
Goss will send Worley free, and the goalkeeper came out a long way. Kelleher. Worley just tried to poke it beyond him. Fortunately, he didn't. Goal kick to Liverpool, as Kelleher takes it to Keanu Hoover. Hoover returns it to Kelleher, and Liverpool just at the moment just looking to, like they're just trying to compose themselves.
Well, they'd had their best spell in the game, really, where they'd put real pressure on Shrewsbury's goal. Looked like they were going to open them up, and then Shrewsbury went up the other end and got that disallowed goal. So it looks like it's knocked the stuffing out of them a little bit, but you know, they've got to get on with that. It was cancelled, and it just puts doubts in young minds, you know, that they are a little bit vulnerable. Where the tails were up, suddenly now you can see they're not quite as wanting the ball.
I expect that'll be the first time Shrewsbury's players have been in the midst of a VAR process. Cardiff 2, Reading 2 now in the FA Cup. Reading have come back from 2-0 down there to level. That's a championship derby, so to speak. We have had a goal at Prenton Park. Be there shortly, but let's just tell you about one kick.
Kenneth Beery stole it away, drilled it past Davis. Game over, Tranmere 0, Doncaster 3.
Kane is going to take this corner for Liverpool in front of the Kop. He decides to whip it in. It goes across the edge of the 6-yard box. Nobody can make a connection with it, and it's a goal kick to Shrewsbury.
Well, that was a great ball in, and it wasn't attacked. It was attacked by the one player at the front post, and nobody else had ran in. It was a fabulous ball in.
Well, Liverpool's players almost look surprised at the quality of that ball.
It's almost like they've stopped playing. You know, they've had a little shock there where they've thought they were going to go behind. They haven't, but it's almost as though it stunned them a little bit.
Neil Critchley yet to use any of his substitutes. Shrewsbury have used one, but they still have Jason Cummings, perhaps their joker in the pack, to use. Not used him so far, as Williams hooks the ball back towards halfway. Back in by Ebanks-Landell, headed forward again by Hoover, brought down eventually by Elliott, and then Kane whacks the ball forward. Miller will try and run towards it, and it needed the defender Ebanks-Landell to head into the arms of Max O'Leary. This game is really anyone's for the taking at the moment. It's 0-0, and we've got 27 minutes to go. No one really talking about extra time just yet. Ball now inside the centre circle. It's brought forward by Goss, but his pass is met by Williams. Goulbourne pressing Williams back to his own byline. Still going Goulbourne. Williams has still got it, and Goulbourne has eventually stolen it from him. Worley has the ball, but Worley was offside there. So free kick to Liverpool, taken quickly by Williams. He sends it forward to Shirivella, who tried to involve Clarkson on that left-hand side. Clarkson goes down, but and there's going to be a yellow card, I think, for that challenge on Clarkson. It's Donald Love who gets a yellow card for Shrewsbury. It's our third yellow card of the game. Liverpool free kick, halfway line, just to the left, a few yards away from the edge of the Kenny Dalglish stand. Back now to Sepp van den Berg. Liverpool with a long ball forward, and was chased down there by Clarkson, or Lewis, but goes into the penalty area. O'Leary throws it down in front of him, and then he sends a long ball down. Worley will chase. Keanu Hoover gets there first. Edwards helps it forward. Still going, Dave Edwards can't get beyond Jones. Udo inside the penalty area. Liverpool eventually clear on the edge of their own penalty area. Now it'll be the turn of Liam Miller to chase against the defender Ebanks-Landell. Miller a bit of a lone warrior up front at the moment for Liverpool. It's real end-to-end stuff at the moment on BBC Radio Merseyside, but it's 0-0 at the moment as Goulbourne heads down towards Udo, but it's cleared by the defender Hoover, and the ball goes out of play for a Shrewsbury Town throw-in. Midway inside the Shrewsbury half. A reminder that the winners will face Chelsea away in the 5th round. Now Udo will send Laurent to chase. Laurent just about keeps the ball in by the corner flag, passes back to Worley. Worley's dispossessed though by Lewis. Gets the ball back, but it's ended up again with Clarkson, who sends a long ball forward. So again Miller to chase, into the penalty area it goes, but O'Leary sends it with a long kick back into the Liverpool half. And now Udo's going to try and get on the end of this, but Vandenberg goes with him. Udo now with his back to goal, edge of the penalty area. Will hold it up for Love to bring it into play. Squares the ball to Goss, and he sends a lovely diagonal ball actually for Goulbourne to get onto, just by the corner flag. Liverpool trying to force him back. Goulbourne still has it, looking for an option. Decides to, in the end, use Edwards. A long way out of the penalty area. Square ball to Goss. Back to Edwards, and Liverpool, to their credit, have forced Shrewsbury back. Edwards, though, with a chip forward. Worley collects on the byline, tries across. Nobody in there really for Shrewsbury. And it's left to Lewis to pick up, and Lewis's first touch wasn't great, and Laurent will take it back out towards the touchline, and then he turns and looks to drive across in. Udo will turn, Udo with the shot, but it goes to the left of Kelleher's goal, and it's a goal kick to Liverpool.
Yeah, there's just 1 or 2 bits of tiredness, I think, coming in from the young lads. I mean, Adam Lewis, who's had a super game all night, just lost his concentration, let his touch get away from him. Josh Laurent got on the ball and fed it into Udo, who spun left-footed and wasn't too far wide with that, although I think Kelleher had it covered. But they've just lost that little bit of control that they had, Liverpool, and they need to get themselves just settled again, just pass the ball. And
could this man do something? Shewsbury receives the ball off Jones, and it's crossed in from the left-hand side. It's come to Elliott. Maybe too soon. He was on the edge of the 6-yard box, maybe didn't quite expect it to make it all the way through, as O'Leary sends a long ball for Udo to chase. Kelleher comes in, Udo goes in for the challenge ball, spins away. Kelleher dives onto the floor to prevent it going out of the penalty area and rescues the ball for Liverpool.
Well, we've just said there, Adam Lewis, and must be feeling tired, but what a run and cross. It was a great ball in, and I don't think Harvey Elliott expected it at the back post. He got himself in between the centre half and the full back, and the ball fell on him, and it was almost as if he wasn't watching it. It just hit him and bounced nicely for the keeper, but what a chance it was.
This really is where the experience comes into play a little bit, doesn't it? This is unknown territory, uncharted waters for many of Liverpool's players, when the legs will just start to ache a little bit more. And we're not even thinking about extra time just yet. A Derby 4, Northampton 2 now in the FA Cup 4th round, as Edwards tried to run the ball down the left-hand side, but good work by Kane, kept on going, and Edwards puts the ball out of play. Liverpool throw in level with the edge of their own penalty area. Liverpool, by the way, have never reached the 5th round of the FA Cup under Jurgen Klopp. Long ball forward now from Lewis down the left-hand side in front of the Kenny Dalglish stand to Jones, who does well to avoid the attentions of Pierre. He passes back to Shewsbury, and Liverpool just starting to pass it around a little bit more. Hoover on the halfway line, forward to Williams, who's inside the Shrewsbury half. He chips the ball down for Elliott to chase, but that's going to go off as Elliott just puts his thumb up to his colleague and goes out for a goal kick. 4-2 to Derby against Northampton. Cardiff Reading 2-2. Birmingham trailing 1-0 at home to Coventry, and Newcastle leading Oxford by 2-0. Tranmere Rovers trailing 3-0 at home to Doncaster Rovers. They're in stoppage time there. A very disappointing night for Tranmere, who will find themselves 6 points adrift inside the relegation zone. This was their game in hand on some teams. Jones has it inside the Shrewsbury half, left-hand side, 0-0 here at Anfield. James Mountford and Craig Hignett with you on BBC Radio Merseyside. Liverpool have been let off the hook, with VAR coming to their rescue. Shewsbury with a lovely ball forward. Oh, and Jones will have an attempt. He miskicked it first time, comes back down, tries to get it onto his left foot, has another shot at the near post, comes off a defender, and it goes out for a corner.
Well, what a chance that was. It was a really good ball by Shewsbury to pick him out. Lofted. He had to watch it a long time because it was in the air a long time, but he'd made a really good run, Jones. And you would expect him, right foot, just to guide it into the net, and he miskicked it. What a great chance.
Corner though for Liverpool. Kane will put it towards the back stick, and it just goes over Miller, who's stretched at the back post, and he's going to have to run towards the other side of the penalty area, but he will play Lewis in, who's come down with a cross. Great play, Adam Lewis, the left back, and he ends up playing it off Ethan Ebanks-Landell and out for a corner to Liverpool. Great pressure at the moment.
Yeah, I mean, they've found a little bit of rhythm again, haven't they? You know, they've kept it really well. They've looked threatening.
Corner this time from the left-hand side. Cop end. It's an in-swinger, but it's headed away by Goss inside the penalty area. Picked up now by Williams, who plays it over to the right-hand side where Curtis Jones is waiting near the angle of the area. Manages to float a ball in, and it came off a Shewsbury player. It was Ethan Ebanks-Landell, and it skimmed off his thigh and has gone out for another corner. Jones to take it quickly into Elliott, back out to Jake Kane, who floats it in from the left-hand side. It goes towards the back post, retrieved by Clarkson, who has an attempt, blocked though by Love, and it's gone out for another corner.
Yeah, great pressure, good bright play.
And Clarkson's going to stay in that area, and he will take this corner again from the left-hand side where the Kenny Dalglish stand meets the Cop. And it's an outswinger this time. Laurent heads away. An attempt there from Chirivella. Cannons off a Shewsbury player into the path of Elliott. Crossed in now. Away again by Goss. And this is dangerous times for Shewsbury at the moment. Liverpool pressing and pressing. Going to see a throw in now. Oh, and it's a substitution for Shewsbury. Oh, well. It is the joker in the pack. It's Jason Cummings, scorer of Shrewsbury's 2 goals in the first game, and he's going to come on for Sean Goss. So what impact will Cummings have? Full time at Tranmere Rovers. They've been defeated 3-0 by Doncaster Rovers. We'll get a report from Derek Jones shortly as Liverpool take a throw in near their penalty area. It's Lewis who will try and cross it in. Jones is waiting, but it's put behind by Ethan Ebanks-Landell. Corner to Liverpool. 73 minutes on the clock. Jones places the corner down. The ball down. Jones to take. Decides to go short to Clarkson. Jones has still got it. Toying with the Shrewsbury player Worley. Now goes back to Chirivella, who lifts it through. Clarkson's on the run. It needed the quick thinking there of Edwards just to put behind his own goal. And it's another corner.
It's much better, isn't it? I mean, the amount of 1-2s they played the second half, where they've just played it and carried on the run, and they've got in, or Shrewsbury players have had to last-ditch tackles trying to put it behind for a corner.
This time it's going to be Elliott to take. He floats it in. It's away by Shrewsbury. Kane tries to have a shot. It went up in the air. Goalkeeper had to watch it very closely, and he will immediately throw out towards the halfway line. Well read there by Williams. Just about keeps the ball in on the halfway line. Then he sends a diagonal ball in. Elliott's running in, and a Shrewsbury player scored an own goal, and Liverpool have scored! It's Roshan Williams who puts into his own net. Liverpool have their lead, deservedly so, and the youngsters go to the Cop to celebrate. What a night for them, what a moment for them. It's Liverpool 1, Shrewsbury 0.
Well, it was fantastic play from Nico Williams, wasn't it? First of all, it was a long throw out. Shrewsbury tried to hit Liverpool on the counter-attack. He managed to get his head to the ball, kept it in, and then spotted Harvey Elliott, who was playing on the opposite wing. Hit a lovely diagonal ball. Trent Alexander-Arnold-esque. And Roshan Williams didn't know where Harvey Elliott was, couldn't take any chances, tried to guide it out of play, got his header all wrong, over Max O'Leary in the Shrewsbury goal and into an empty net. It was a real comical own goal, if you look at it. But the pressure that Harvey Elliott was putting on him and the ball from Nico Williams made it one that he had to deal with. He couldn't leave it.
Well, from the outside in, many people thought that the experience of League One Shrewsbury would be too much for these youngsters. Yes, they've had a bit of VAR fortune, but they have just stood so tall in this game, and they've now got 14 minutes to try and see it out, an own goal. Think about that. The last 2 goals Liverpool have scored in the FA Cup have been own goals, courtesy of Shrewsbury Town. Let's go over to Prenton Park, shall we? Tranmere Rovers have finished against Doncaster Rovers. Here's Derek Jones.
Yeah, Tranmere still 6 points from safety. 3 second-half goals for Doncaster, 2 for Jacob Ramsey, a fierce shot on 54 and a header on 75. And then Manny Monty just dwelling in his own box, and the substitute Okunabiri making it 3-0. Really disappointing night for Tranmere. They've lost here. Tranmere 0, Doncaster 3.
Tranmere 6 points adrift of safety. More reaction to that game on the way. Now Shrewsbury have it. They're on the attack as they float a ball into the penalty area. Well read though by Gwyneth Kelleher in goal. A Will Roshawn Williams own goal. 15 minutes from the end prove decisive in this game. Just a reminder that extra time and penalties do count should this game continue. Into that if Shrewsbury score, but they're going to have to score if they're to avoid going out after the 90 minutes in a trip to Chelsea awaiting the winners. Chiravella now on the halfway line. I mean, just to be 13 minutes from the end and leading Shrewsbury by a goal to nil is a massive testament to these players, isn't it?
Well, they've deserved it for the way they've played. You know, yes, Shrewsbury have had a goal disallowed, but I mean, that'll be the talking point probably. But they've kept going, and they've showed some really good quality, some bits of really excellent play. And I don't think anyone at the game tonight watching it would say that they didn't deserve anything other than being in front, because they've been quite dominant. About the first half, what was it, 65% possession, something like that. I mean, they've been excellent.
Worley heads forward. Worley's got it just outside the penalty area. Gives it to Udo. Cummings is on the run as well. Really well read by Vandenberg, who clears towards the centre circle. Headed back towards the penalty area. Vandenberg controls. He's facing goal as well. Man on, say the crowd, with Udo breathing down his neck, and Vandenberg clears to the halfway line. Roshawn Williams gives it to Edwards. Edwards looking around now to try and get a ball forward for the League One side. Edwards receives it back, gives it to Aaron Pierre. Now Scott Goulbourne crosses from the left-hand side. Udo goes up for the header. Cummings is in there as well. Liverpool desperately trying to get it away, and eventually it is skied over the bar by Love, and it's going to be a Liverpool goal kick. Derby have beaten Northampton by 4 goals to 2. They're into extra time in Cardiff, where it's 2-2 between Cardiff and Reading. Also looks to be an upset on the cards at St Andrews, where Coventry leading Birmingham by a goal to 0. Newcastle still leading Oxford by 2 goals to 0. That one started at 8:05. That particular game. Liverpool lead by a goal to 0. And here is Williams just outside the penalty area, goes outside of his defender, tries his best to get across him, but it's cleared. And Kane will allow the ball to go out. Yet to see a Liverpool substitution, of course.
I don't think it'll be long. I mean, some of the lads, you know, with it being the first game, it's a big pitch, it's Anfield, all that nervous tension that they've been feeling and adrenaline running through them. There'll be 1 or 2
Lewis for Liverpool floats the ball in. Elliott rises to try and meet that cross. Couldn't quite get there. Gone out for a goal kick.
It was almost a lovely pick-up, wasn't it, from Lewis?
Would this be an upset, Craig?
I would say so. I mean, it's a very, on paper, I said it beforehand, it's a very, very evenly matched contest. You know, you would expect the more experienced men of Shrewsbury to go and impose themselves on the young lads at Liverpool, but at the same time you knew technically the Liverpool players would be better than the Shrewsbury players, or most of the Shrewsbury players. It was just who could impose themselves the most, and Liverpool with the ball have shaded that. You know, the physicality of Shrewsbury hasn't really affected Liverpool too much. Liverpool have been the ones who've got their game going, who've kept the ball really well. They've only had that little spell for the last 10 minutes or so where they might have took a little knock with the disallowed goal when it went in, but I think overall on the night they've been outstanding, Liverpool, and deserve their win if they get it. There's still 10 minutes plus injury time, which is a long time when you're feeling as tired as some of these boys will feel.
You're missing none of the action here. Shrewsbury have got a man down who's receiving treatment, and we've got a sort of a drinks break. Let me tell you, in the FA Cup, Birmingham City have got an equaliser at home to Coventry in injury time there. So that one looks to be heading towards extra time as well. They're already playing extra time between Cardiff and Reading. Derby are through. Could Liverpool be through? And then there'll be questions about, should Jurgen Klopp field the same team down at Chelsea?
No.
But that might be a different kettle of fish altogether. Sean Williams has gone off, and former Hartlepool man Brad Walker has come on, and another man who you managed, Craig.
Know him really well. I've coached Brad from when he was 13, when he was at Middlesbrough. Lovely lad who's at 16 looked like he was going to go all the way. He's still only a young man.
Liverpool are making their first substitution of the game as well. Joe Hardy, who's recently arrived from Brentford in the academy, is coming on, and Liam Miller, who has been on loan at Kilmarnock for the last year or so. He's ran himself into the ground, Liam Miller.
And he has. It's been tough for him up there. He's chased everything. He's worked his socks off. And like I say, it's a big pitch to be running about on your own.
Here's a Wirral lad, Joe Hardy, but came in from Brentford just very recently, but he didn't think he'd be playing at Anfield so soon. Football's a funny game, isn't it? Pierre sends a throw down that left-hand side. Liverpool have 7.5 minutes of the 90 remaining to try and cause what, quite agree with Craig Hignett, would be an upset. Their youngsters beating the senior pros of Shrewsbury Town. Ethan Ebanks-Landell passes back to O'Leary, and Hardy just trying to make his presence felt by running in on the goalkeeper, who releases the ball. And now Ethan Ebanks-Landell sends a ball down that left-hand side. Udo will try and run onto it. We've got just under 7 minutes remaining here. Linda McDermott, by the way, will be on the air after this game, regardless of when it finishes. And we'll stay with it for extra time and penalties if needed.
No, don't put the mockers on that, James.
No. Well, after the journey you had. I'm sure you don't want to be going back too late. And most of this crowd want it to be out in the 90 as well, because that would mean, as things stand, that Liverpool are through. At the moment, they're having to dig in a little bit, with Shrewsbury making a bit of progress down Liverpool's right-hand side. Goldborn's going to take a throw-in, almost level with the edge of the Liverpool penalty area, as he throws it in towards Udo, and it needs Kane to hit the ball out. Goldborn again to take the throw-in. He's going to leave it to Aaron Pierre. And Pierre will think about the long throw, I think. In it goes into the penalty area. It's cleared all the way up to the centre circle, and Liverpool didn't have anyone inside the centre circle for that, and Max O'Leary, the goalkeeper, has to pump the ball back into the Liverpool half. It's chased down there by Love, and it's gone out of play. Extra time at St Andrews between Birmingham and Coventry, where it's 1-1 at the moment. And Tranmere Rovers earlier losing 3-0 at home to Doncaster Rovers. Liverpool to take a throw-in, level with their own penalty area. Cardiff now winning 3-2 against Reading. Cardiff 3, Reading 2, into extra time there. Only 3 places dividing those two sides in the Championship. Liverpool have another throw-in, level with their own penalty area. Nico Williams, who had some excellent chances in the first half takes. It sort of skimmed out of his hands, didn't he, as he took that. So Shrewsbury will now get a go. No, it's going to be given.
Yeah, obviously
back
didn't
to
come
Williams.
into play.
This time it's he gets more grip on the ball, throws it towards the halfway line. Pierre heads back, and Williams, who's looking very tired at the moment, isn't he?
They're all looking tired,
into the halfway line. Clash there between Chiravella and Edwards. Neither player particularly happy with it, but it's a free kick to Liverpool.
Yeah, they've just got to see it out now. This is where a bit of experience had come in, you know, just play it to the corners, get people running to the corners. looks like they're just going to put it in the box, and it's
long kick from Williams. Into the box it goes, headed away by Ebanks Landell, and as Elliott tried to get a touch on it, it's given away a throw-in. Shrewsbury know the clock is ticking, there's 4 minutes left to go, as Pierre sends a throw in towards the halfway line, headed back into Shrewsbury territory by Williams, headed back forward by Pierre, drops down now by Chirivella, he gives it to Williams. Ebanks Landell heads towards the halfway line, it bounces out of play. There's a lot of nervous energy out there at the moment from both teams for different reasons, but Liverpool deservedly have a 1-0 lead. Roshan Williams with an own goal, with Harvey Elliott pressing him. Now this is Aaron Pierre with his facing goal. Elliott pressured him from behind and has made Pierre concede a throw in.
Yeah, just take the time with everything now. You know, Nico Williams, no need to rush with this one. Just get it in, get it back and keep it, get it in the corner.
Elliott has it, receives the throw in. Tried to backheel it into the path of Kane, but hooked away eventually by Edwards. It's gone out of play though, Udo couldn't keep it on. So throw into Liverpool midway inside the Shrewsbury half, just in front of the main stand. Williams to take it into the feet of Jones, and it will be a foul throw. And again, another sign of tiredness, isn't it?
Yeah, just a lack of concentration. That's what happens when you're tired. You know, your brain starts to do weird things.
So long throw-in by Edwards into his own penalty area. O'Leary under pressure from Hardy manages to clear. It's picked up now by Love. He angles it. Now they're going to try and get the ball in from this right-hand side, Shrewsbury Town. Get us the byline. It's a low cross, it's dangerous as well. Cummings was in there, and it needs Keanu Hoover to be alive to the situation and put behind for a corner.
Yeah, he picked up a great position there, Hoover. He was just at the near post, 6-yard box, in line with the post. And it was decent play by Joshua on out that right-hand side. Got a low cross in with his right foot. Hoover was in the right place to put it behind for a corner.
The Shrewsbury Town fans, they sold out their allocation to Anfield, 8,000 of them. Apparently there are only 3,000 in the entire ground at Rochdale. Probably more than they get most home matches, Shrewsbury, such as the interest in a trip to Anfield. So Shrewsbury going to take a corner from the right-hand side, Anfield Road end. In it goes, cleared inside the 6-yard box. Comes back out to Love. Oh, and Elliott now is running in on goal. Oh. It's 4 against 1. The goalkeeper. Oh, and the goalkeeper comes out and manages to blast the ball out for a throw. What an opportunity! Liverpool had 4 strikers. Just the goalkeeper to beat.
But that's what I'm talking about. Tiredness. Harvey Elliott, who'd done brilliant to win the tackle, just played the ball when he didn't need to. He could have ran it. He just needed to run the ball. He's tried to play a pass and he's overhit the pass, and the keeper's come out and cleared. It should have been a goal for Liverpool, but
well, that could have sent Liverpool over the line. Still time though, with Hardy to Lewis with a long ball over the top to Curtis Jones on the angle of the penalty area. Gives it to Williams and Jones, and back to Williams now, right-hand side of the penalty area. Will get to the byline, does send a crossing. Can anyone meet it at the far post? And Love, who had nobody around him, wasn't going to take any chances and heads behind for a corner.
That was brilliant play, wasn't it? Good play by Jones and Williams down his right-hand side. And Williams stood a brilliant ball up to the far post. Keeper was nowhere, but no Liverpool play there to nod it in.
We're going in now to the final minute. In fact, we're at the final minute, and we're going to find out how much injury time. 4 added minutes. Liverpool have got 4 minutes to see this tie out and progress as they square the ball to Kane on the edge of the penalty area. He dances through the defence, gives it to Jones just outside the area. Elliott is on standby for help as well. He decides to use him. Back to Jones. And Liverpool just going to try and play keep ball now and see this game out as they work the ball back to the halfway line. It's pumped forward almost towards Hardy, picked up though by Kane, and now Williams will send a ball in. Roshan Williams goes in with a dangerously risky diving header. The ball goes high up into the air, comes back down inside the penalty area. Goalborn not taking any chances and puts it out for a throw in.
Well, it's great to watch, isn't it? But the young lads should be putting it in the corner. You know, they're still going for that second goal, and I think we're going to see another sub now.
Well, that is good management, just trying to slow the game down.
Leighton Clarkson coming on
a little bit. Morgan Boys is the man coming on.
He's had a good night, Leighton Clarkson. Had a very, very steady game. He'll be really pleased with that.
So Boys is on, Clarkson is off. Liverpool have used 2 of their 3 substitutions, but we are now into stoppage time. And can Liverpool just try and see this game out? 2.5 minutes to go as Edwards launches a long ball forward into the Liverpool half, headed back by Vandenberg, headed back again this time by Walker of Shrewsbury. Vandenberg again will try and set Hardy free down the right hand side. O'Leary has to come out of his goal and he pumps the ball back into the Liverpool half. Nervy moments here at Anfield, and as that ball was pumped forward, it is offside. Just a couple of yards into the Liverpool half, still 1-0.
Yeah, they kept a really good line there, Liverpool. You could see the keeper was going to kick it. The tendency is to drop. They didn't. They kept a nice high line and caught Udo offside.
Well, this game, it's had everything, hasn't it? We've had VAR, we've had an own goal. And can Liverpool's youngsters pull off, not necessarily the unthinkable, but certainly the unlikely? 90 seconds to go on the clock of injury time as Shrewsbury try with a last gasp attacks. They've got a throw in just in front of the dugout area. Clever management again from Neil Critchley. He's going to use his 3rd and final substitution, and frankly, why not, with Elijah Dixon-Bonner ready to come on. Goalborn squares the ball to Edwards. Now the man who scored the crucial own goal, Rosean Williams. A cross comes in from Love into the area. Kelleher comes out to claim like a strong goalkeeper would. Allison would have been proud of that.
Yeah, he went early, didn't he? The ball was hung up a little bit. It was calling for the keeper to come out and get it, and that's exactly what he did. Good hands, good goalkeeping.
40 seconds to go as it's pumped forward there by the goalkeeper, Elijah Dixon-Bonner, waiting to come on at the moment. Just given his final instructions by Neil Critchley. He'll just want a touch of the ball, won't he, when he comes up?
Yeah, listen, it doesn't matter how long you're on that pitch for, you've done it.
So Williams is going to take
Harvey Elliott, is it?
Yeah, it's Harvey Elliott, who is given a standing ovation by Anfield. Wow. I mean, let's not forget, Harvey Elliott, a youngster himself, yet he's one of the more experienced players in this team.
Well, what is he, 17, Harvey? I mean, he's got a massive future, hasn't he?
Not long arrived from Fulham himself, only arrived here in the summer. And what a prospect he is. Elijah Dixon-Bonner on. And Andy Madley is going to blow up any second. We've had our 4 minutes. We're just waiting for the referee to blow his whistle. Liverpool have a throw-in level with the Shrewsbury penalty area. Williams has it. Just the time taken up by the substitution we're waiting for now. As Shrewsbury desperately try to get it out of the corner area. This is Hardy now for Liverpool. He's going to try and use Jones, but Edwards eventually clears up to the halfway line. All eyes on the referee at the moment. Vandenberg miskicks it and puts it out for a throw-in, but it's going to be taken inside the Shrewsbury half. The Anfield crowd being a little bit slow to give the ball back to Goulbourne there, and in the end Goulbourne actually leaps into the stands to try and retrieve the ball for himself. Oh, and Shrewsbury have given it away through Walker, and now this is Hardy who's going to try and play Elijah Dixon-Bonner in, and the referee blows his whistle. Liverpool's youngsters have done it. Would you believe it? Youth has prevailed over experience. Endeavour has won against the wily old boys from the Football League. Liverpool's youngsters showed and proved to this sold-out Anfield just what quality they have. They were never overawed. They gave it their all. They got their just rewards. They got some rub of the green, and boy, do they deserve it. Liverpool have
showed a real belief in themselves and a confidence way beyond the years, and carried it on really throughout the game. I can only think of one 10-minute period in that second half where they started to drop off a little bit, and that was just after Shrewsbury had the goal disallowed. But talk about a performance, and that's way beyond anyone's years. It was almost the same as the first team. You could see the patterns of play. You could see the centre half switching it. You could see both fullbacks wanting to get forward. I mean, both fullbacks were fantastic. Adam Lewis has had a brilliant game at left back, and Nico Williams, every time I see him, he just gets better and better. Curtis Jones, obviously, with his quality, tried to run the show and did for large parts of that game, but it was just an overall fantastic team performance, right from the goalkeeper up to Leighton Clarkson, who came off, who ran himself into the ground. It was such an all-round team performance. It was really, really brilliant to see.
What a story, what a night, and just listen to this. At the moment, all the team are in front of the Kop, taking their applause to a man. And Craig Hignett, I don't know if he's in the ground tonight. No doubt he's watching, but should Jurgen Klopp take any sort of credit for this? Because his gamble has paid off.
I think the whole club has taken on a different... It's a different animal now. These kids are seeing what the first team are doing. The first team are incredible, so to watch that day in, day out, to play the same way, to get the same patterns and to control the game the way they did today, it's obviously an influence from what the first team are doing. These kids should be unbelievably proud of what they've done tonight, because they played against a man's team, real man's team, who they're in League One. League One's a good standard. It's not a Mickey Mouse standard. It's a really good standard of football. And physically, these lads aren't ready for that yet. But technically, you've seen tonight that they're far superior, and they've played this game. You wouldn't know the difference, and that's as big a compliment as I can play them. You see some of these under-23 sides that go, you mentioned it, these lads haven't won at Oldham, they haven't won at Fleetwood, they haven't. So it just shows you what kind of performance they've put in tonight. They've played way above themselves tonight, and I think if you ask Neil Pidgley, that'd be the best he's seen his under-23 team play, because they were absolutely outstanding to a man, absolutely outstanding. And you talk about Jurgen Klopp watching this will be unbelievably proud of what he's seen as well. He's seen that the club is full of winners. Every team. This team now, it's gone out. It's been under pressure because there's a full house almost here today to watch them play. We all know what happened to Aston Villa. Even though they played well, they conceded. That's against a Premier League team. Tonight, they've showed that they can still play that way, still play with the same control, with the same skill, with the same endeavour, and win. So that's a massive learning curve for this team, because I heard the Neil Pidgley's interview before, and he's saying we can play nice football, yes, but it's what you do in both boxes that counts, and he's spot on. You've got to win football matches, and the part of learning is winning football matches. So to play that well and win a football match, these lads will have earned unbelievable amounts from.
Yeah, these Liverpool players, these Liverpool youngsters, most of whom, let's not forget, will have been born this century, post-2000. That's what we're talking about. And these youngsters have beaten Shrewsbury Town, who are a respectable League One side, and as Craig Hignett said, League One, it's only the third tier of English football. It's a very respected tier. It's clearly where professional football thrives, and they have overcome some of these. I mean, Adam Lewis, or Jake Kane, rather, he only signed a professional contract, as an example, back in September, and he's now beaten Shrewsbury Town. What a night it is for Liverpool. They got a little bit of luck from VAR, if you want to call it luck, but equally VAR did its job when Sean Worley, the Liverpool supporter, thought he'd put in. Kelleher made a save, it popped straight back out to Worley, who headed in, but then VAR said that, well, we think that Worley was in an offside, but it may have been Udo in the build-up to that goal. But then the decisive moment, as it turned out, came as Nico Williams lofted a long pass forward, and with Harvey Elliott putting pressure on the defender Rosean Williams decided to use his head. Unfortunately, it looped over